StreamYard, there we go. All right. I don't see myself. Am I in this thing? Yeah, I'm in the thing. Not seeing my. There we go. Okay, it's just a bit of a delay. Anyhow, yeah, talking about different faiths, and he has a friend goes by the name Krishna. He's a Hindu, obviously. And we had good, just really loving conversations, and I loved how he talked about a beautiful mind. He said it several times, and of course, it instantly reminded me of John Nash. But I say it to my wife often. I ask her, "So what's going on in your beautiful mind?" So, so I love that reference. But yeah, I'm loving the diversity, loving the unity. So those that may not have been to my channel before that'd like to join, I try to encourage civilized conversations with people of any walk of life. You can be Christian, you can be atheist, everything in between, but you must be civilized. I do not tolerate drama and fighting. So, despite whatever criticism people have of me, I'm going to do my best to avoid that here. I want to have cool, calm, fun, again, intelligent conversations about science, religion, politics, you name it, just as long as we avoid the typical social media drama. So, with that, yeah. I don't know if I've got a particular topic right now on my mind. Again, I was hoping just to kind of continue with what we left off from dear sweet Richard. And I guess the one topic that didn't get touched on earlier that I was starting to was the Supreme Court conversation. In fact, I closed that tab already. I'm going to bring it back up. That seemed like major news. Supreme Court conservatives appear willing to gut abortion rights. They had some sort of oral argument earlier today about how abortion is a states' rights issue only. It's not in the Constitution. Kavanaugh is quoted as saying the Constitution is neither pro-life nor pro-choice on the question of abortion, but leaves the issue to the people of the states or perhaps Congress to resolve in the democratic process. So I'm loving it. They're showing that the Roe versus Wade thing is illegal. It is anti-democratic. It's anti-constitution. It was not ratified in any kind of congressional law practice at all. The jurisprudence is completely invalid. The court, not even the Congress, can usurp state rights. 10th Amendment specifically forbids it. If it's not codified in the Constitution, Congress nor the Supreme Court can say anything about it. It has to be a states' rights thing. So, anyways, we shall see if that's going to finally, like Roe herself said, she wanted to fight this illegal law in her name all her life before she passed away. We'll see if it finally starts to happen. Good stuff. Finally make murder illegal again. I guess. Court has never revoked a right that is so fundamental to so many Americans and so central to the ability to participate fully and equally in society. They have no basis in the Constitution. They have no home in our history or traditions. They've damaged our democratic process. They've poisoned the law. Wow, that's powerful language. They've choked off compromise. I love this. This is the state representative for Mississippi making the case today. Mississippi is one of the dozen plus states that are fighting this right now. So yeah, that's exciting times. You can talk about that or others things. Good old abortion debate or child murder debate. I like to better frame it. Biden's lawyer urges against, quote, contraction of rights. Yeah. They want to keep the right to murder. So yeah, 6-3 majority. See, that's funny. The liberal justice warned against ditching important and long-standing legal precedents, which is stupidly ironic because Roe versus Wade had zero precedent, literally. So it's just the exact. It's everything Jefferson and others warned about how, people want to create suicide. They warned. There was a huge debate among the founding fathers in the Federalist Papers and otherwise, about whether or not to even have a Supreme Court or not. There was a serious debate that they were going to have two branches, not three, for a long time. So it's largely argued the only reason why the United States adopted three branches was to follow in the biblical tradition of a trinity. But it's a whole other fun topic. But regardless, so here we are on the crossroads again of history, which has also always been repeated. Babylon, Rome, Persia, all these major nations, all these major civilizations have always debated on whether or not people have the right to murder certain people for certain reasons, outside of just universal, moral crime laws. It's one thing to say you want to, end someone's life in self-defense, or because they've made it obvious they do not want, like a mass murderer. They made it obvious they don't want to reform. It's one thing to, for corporal punishment for things like that, but all these other, non-obvious reasons have always been debated for thousands of years. Nothing is new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1:7. Was it 1:7? 1:9? Don't check our references, we'll forget them. Yep, 1:9. Ecclesiastes 1:9. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. George Santiago. Am I getting tired? Progress, far from consisting in change, depends on retentiveness. When change is absolute, there remains no being to improve, and no direction is set for possible improvement. And when experience is not retained, as among savages, infancy is perpetual. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Santayana, The Life of Reason, The Phases of Human Progress, 1905. Wish this stuff was all common knowledge. But anyways, all right. I'm not seeing any takers on other topics, so I don't know how much longer I'll sit here and try to keep the air from being dead, but until someone else wants to join and help fill it with me. The sense of beauty. Skepticism is the chastity of the intellect. Friggin' brilliant. To covet truth is a very distinguished passion. So yeah, I got all kinds of topics I'd like to talk about. That was one of the big ones. The news of the Supreme Court finally doing its job. Excuse me. Let's see what else is going on today. Oxford High School mass shooting again. Some former Department of Justice officials getting criminal contempt charges. Not sure that I care. Oh, over the January 6th Stonewall. That is so fake. That's so bogus. Fights itself. Shut down politics. Yeah, you better. Planetary scientists are starting to get stirred up by Starship's potential. That's right. You better be, man. So Falcon Heavy, much less Starship, is designed to go anywhere in the Sol system. Falcon Heavy can go all the way to Pluto if someone wanted to. Starship can go further. If you tether enough starships together, you can make it an interstellar vehicle. You just got to bring enough supplies. It takes a long time, but tether starships together and spin them around, figure out how to get tether technology to work better so you don't crash the stuff. But yeah, you can have artificial gravity and go almost anywhere. Technology is here. CNN suspended Chris Como. Who cares? World Trade Association suspends all tournaments in China. Is that symbolic, or is that something worth talking about? Association questions whether player is allowed to speak freely. Oh, wow. Over free speech rights, huh? Because she made a comment about a former Chinese official. Oh, it's not the World Trade. It's the Women's Tennis Association. What? Oh, okay. So yeah, they're banning tournaments in China over concerns about the safety of Chinese tennis stars. Okay, well, that's crazy. Well, it's China. They're always atheists. They're always trying to. Yeah. European Union, Honduras president. So China is invading Honduras now. That's great. Ooh. And some U.S. Marshal action here locally. Hey. Cryptocurrency executives to be questioned in Congress. I'm a cryptocurrency. Well, no, I'm not. I'm cryptology, but not currency. So Coinbase's Elisa Haas. Circles. So I haven't heard. What is Circles? That's a currency now? Bitfury? What the heck? That reminds me. An old friend of mine asked for help to build his Bitcoin mining rig months ago. He messaged me out of the blue earlier today. Need to check up on him. Pixel car keys arrive on Pixel 6 or digital car keys in Samsung Galaxy. What? Sandra Bullock says 2014 home invasion left her with severe PTSD. Girl, you should always come off as a tough girl in your movies. I like Sandra Bullock's character she plays. I don't know if I know her as a person, but the characters she plays are awesome. So anyways, yeah. Can hoping somebody else would help want to start a topic. Trying to think of something worth. Otherwise, while I try to wait a little while longer. The news looks mostly dumb as usual. So, excuse me, except for the Supreme Court thing, that's revolutionary. But nothing particularly new in my life. I needed to finish this API thing yesterday, but I've got the excuse though. We had a long lunch, company lunch, and then they actually asked me to do a hardware thing today. That was kind of unusual. So I did a hardware install, but I got most of it done. I think it's done. It is done. I just got to clean it up, and I ran into this one problem where there's a validation function procedure that it was saying that one of the fields to my my endpoint object class is not being valid. It's saying it's an invalid whatever, and I don't think it's a true bug. I think that it's a unique key field basically on this table that is read only, and you can't assign it. So it has no put or patch operation for it in this REST API thing. So because it's assigned automatically by the AI. The AI gives, if you have any change to one of these records, the AI, and it's beyond the regular primary type key or whatever secondary key of the database. It's a custom, unique, specific, unique key, quote unquote. That the tuple, the actual column, is named unique key, right? And it's all got special protections and stuff. So the AI assigns that based on certain conditions. And so I tried to make it. So we have a custom, whatever you call it, validator procedure in the API, so that we can basically create an added layer, basically of protection on the data that's coming in and out between the AI and the clients. So you can set things that are read only or insert only type stuff, or what type of what field type it is. You can have more control over it, blah blah blah. And so I've probably reconfigured something incorrectly with this particularly interestingly unique key field. So anyways, I reversed the stack trace for the most part earlier today. So I've got a good idea what's wrong with it. I just need to, and then I asked a coworker, and he's like, just run the debug on it. Like, duh. The debug trace will tell you why it's invalid. And so, anyways, I don't think he understood. It's not the data itself is not invalid as it's supposed to normally catch. I think the configuration for this unique type of field is not correct, and so it's confusing the validator. Anyways, so do that, clean that up, and then clean up the delete functions, and I think the stupid thing is done. It took almost a month. And so there's no way. The reason why I guess my sense of urgency is not terrible is because even if I turned it in tonight or submitted it for review tonight, it's going to take days. I mean, it's thousands of lines of code. It's only one API endpoint section, but still, it's the most complicated one of several dozens. And so it's like no one's going to, no one's going to code review it in one day. At least not honestly. That reminds me, I'll share a video. For all you wannabe coders out there that haven't had the pleasure of the experiences of coding, may or may not have it. Hold on. What's that guy's YouTube channel? I'm subscribed to it. Look it up. Bear with me. Stand by. I shared it recently. What was it? Code review? Manager's code review. Yeah. That's not it. Where's he at? He's an Asian guy. Here we go. Is this it? Let me double check it. Yes. Jomatech. It's only a minute long, so hopefully I won't get a copyright thing. So, especially for you guys that love to code or want to load. Oh, hey, in there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to add you. I'll get a copyright. Hello. Share screen. I was going to share this video real quick.
What up?
Is that Iger?
Yeah, bro. I tried to type in the chat, but my comments don't show up.
Yeah? Here.
Yeah, cancel.
Man. I did something weird earlier that made me wonder if either YouTube or...
There was a spam right next to my comments, so I'm wondering if you blocked me too. It was like somebody spamming, trolling your chat last night, like, So I don't know if you hit me too. I was right next to them on the comments.
No.
Or
if I did it was accident. I don't... Yeah, I blocked a bunch of porn bot stuff, but...
Yeah, so I was right next to them, so I don't know if you blocked me too. I don't know.
Well, you weren't under this name, were you? Or are you talking about your other name is blocked, maybe?
Igor Television's blocked.
Let me find out. I forget.
Is there a way to do that? How do you even do that, bro? I never even...
Yeah, I forget. I gotta look it up.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Huh?
You don't have to worry about it, bro. Go ahead and play your video.
I do. I want to make it right.
Well, if you want to play the video, then while you do that.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, that way I could watch something.
Do you do any coding yet, Iger?
Huh?
Do you do any coding yet?
Nah, bro. I don't do no
Okay.
coding. I'm coding. I'm coding my dirt. That way it can grow some vegetables. That's about it.
Ha ha ha. All right. Well, maybe hopefully you'll enjoy this nonetheless.
All right.
Let me. Wait, I gotta mute myself here. Did I share it properly? Share screen. I always forget the share system audio button. Click. It's annoying. There we go. This guy's hilarious, by the way. I love him.
I'm gonna mute myself so it doesn't echo.
There is an echo?
No, it sounds perfect, but you know, just so there is no echo, I'm gonna mute myself as well because I don't have headphones.
So for those who missed it, he basically there was an error in one of the test groups that he just ran, and instead of fixing it, he just removed the test group.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
So a pull request is when you submit your code for review, you have to. So we have what's called repository for our code, and that's the term for when you submit a pull to basically upload or submit your code for others to see. A pull request is where you get other people to review your code, and then they either approve it, or they add suggestions, whatever, to before you do a merge. What it's called, you merge your pull request. It merges it your code into the larger repositories, usually like a development branch, whatever. So basically, that's what he's going through right now. He's doing a pull request with his boss.
I have no idea what I'm reading.
I love it. Yep. That's what I'm worried about my boss is going to do. He's going to see my friggin' epic novel of code I've been writing last month. He's just going to look over it for 5 seconds and go, yep, looks good. Next. So we'll see. Okay. Add or manage my channels. Where are you at? Oh, wow. I've got another channel I don't know about. Where do I edit settings for it? Settings? Oh.
Sorry, I have playing a video in the background. You're a younger creationist too, right?
I am both. I try to say that there is no evidence for old stuff because the radiometric dating is wrong. But the only evidence we do have is just what humanity has written down over the last 6,000 years. So it seems young, but we don't know. Could be either. Looking for the block list settings. I don't know that I got very many people blocked yet. So your account, Google account.
Comment. I don't know, man. I don't know where it's at. I'm trying to look, but I have no idea.
Advanced settings. Nope, that's not there. Channel status and features, maybe. Let's look at that. Nope. Oh. Permissions? Nope. Community. Okay, here's my list of moderators. Here's my hidden users.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There you are. Yep, you were in my hidden user list. I don't know how you got there, but you are now out. So
I got 3 hidden users.
Yeah. Try now.
All right, let's see. I am. Wow, my spelling is horrible.
It's okay.
butchered that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows up. I see it on my other device. Now I'm back.
I like to say how intelligent people can read and write typo fluently.
Yeah, that was not fluently right there. It's just caps everywhere.
It's all good.
I'm wearing gloves because it's a little cold outside. It's
Yeah.
what? Let me see.
Florida?
59 degrees, bro. 59.
Yeah.
It's not cold. Yeah, it's not that cold. But I'm sick, so I was like, I'm feeling kind of chilly.
59 degrees is cold, everybody.
In Florida, bro, we used to that 105-degree weather over here.
Yep.
You guys in
Well,
Texas
I
get pretty hot too.
always told my kids it's not too cold for shorts unless you can see your breath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not there yet here.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's kind of warm here in Texas. I don't know what the temperature is, but I'm not exactly comfortable.
Yeah, it's not bad. It feels pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. If I wasn't sick, I think I'll be fine.
Jawohl. So yeah, did you hear what I was saying earlier about the Supreme Court?
Repeat it. I kind of heard you reading some of the news. There was one about I think oh man, no, I missed a couple actually, but that's kind of when I tuned in. You were kind of reading some of the news.
Yeah. They're starting to they're having not an official hearing, but they're showing public conversations about overturning Roe v. Wade. Finally.
I hear this lady's on trial right now, just started, and there's no talk about it. The Jeffrey Epstein's right hand woman,
Mm-hmm.
Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever. So there's
Yep.
very little. I don't know. And again, I haven't looked at it, but I got a feeling they're all just gonna get away. Nothing's gonna happen. Just like anytime one of the high power elite people do anything, it just seems like nothing ever happens. Like Trump used to say, "We're gonna arrest Hillary Clinton. She's
Yeah.
fine." You know what I mean? Like she's all right. Nothing's gonna happen to her.
Yep. It's all dog and pony shows. Yep. Yeah, no, she's facing criminal charges, but you're right. We'll see how it goes. I was reading a headline about her. They're trying to say that she flew on an airplane with Donald Trump 14 times. I'm like, ooh, yeah, that must mean that Trump, I guess she's innocent. No, it's dumb.
Well, I think they're both guilty of whatever.
Well, political theater, regardless, one way or the other.
They're related to some guy, man. I don't know. You can still look it up. It comes right up. Trump and Hillary Clinton cousins, and you can follow their genealogy. They're both descendants from the Duke of Gaunt or something like that.
Well, technically speaking, if the Bible is true, we're all kissing cousins.
Yeah, but you will go all the way back to Noah, which was a long time ago, 4,400 years ago or so.
Yeah.
As opposed to 100 years ago. Well, I think that one goes back like I don't know. Let me see. I'll look it up real quick.
You got it down to the minute?
Yeah, I got it down to the minute, bro.
4,436 years ago, 12 hours and 56 seconds. What?
Well, there's room for error. That's what I say about. But even if you look at the Hebrew calendar, we're at the year 5,787. So it gives you a rough there, but there is room for corruption somewhere. So I don't know, man. But
Yeah.
that's what they got. That's how they got it marked.
I'm thinking that if God wanted it to be precisely well known, he would have put a timestamp in it somewhere. So it's not the point.
I mean, I think he did, bro. Honestly, once you learn the constellations and the planisphere, you could probably get pretty accurate if you just understood how all that worked. Because I hear there's a lot of videos of Jesus being born September 11th, 3 BC, and it's because there was a certain alignment, and you can actually go back with what do they call that, antikythera mechanism. You can go back, using a device of that. Now we got even better stuff because we got the computers. Or so I've seen some like very very good, where astrological charts where you can go back, a long ways, and
Yeah.
it's all pretty accurate. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you have like a star reference, I guess you can probably pinpoint it, because also there's the precession of the equinox. So then, nothing's gonna be the same exactly. Everything's gonna be a little bit different every year. Even though you could have like Saturn and Jupiter conjunction multiple times, but then when you look at the precession of the equinox, uh, that can all be counted in. But yeah, if you just look up Hillary Clinton and Trump cousins, then there's a nice genealogy chart. Um, but a lot of people, even The Hill, so even like mainstream media has done like articles on it. It's pretty interesting. That goes back pretty far. They go back like to the 1361. So I guess they a real long distance kissing cousins.
That's a good zip code.
90210.
Use an old one.
Yeah, it's from the TV show.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
How far back do you want to go? Back to year 0. Go back that far. I have no idea what this will do. Submit.
But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. These people like there's a lot of people talking about Jesus' birthday is 3 BC based on
I've heard that, yeah.
Huh?
I've heard that, yeah.
And it made sense to me. Like when I heard it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Why the banksters or whoever you want to blame for the actual. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm with the camp that it was done by not the people that they told us did it, but it would make sense why they would want to demonize that day, when now it's like a day of sorrow as opposed to a day of happiness. They don't want you. They want you celebrating Nimrod's birthday, Christmas, which is like a big pagan holiday, Saturnalia. So they want you all messed up, celebrating the wrong days.
Hey, Iger.
Yeah.
Check us out. The sky is flat.
Yeah, that's what they say. The universe is flat, bro. That's what they say, bro. I'm like, well, isn't the North Star supposedly 3 trillion miles away? What kind of flat is this? Because then if what you do, you hold to the spinning ball, then where's this Cygnus Octantis? How far away is that? So this is a pretty not flat universe you guys are working with here.
This little website's pretty cool. I got as far back as 1800 so far. It doesn't let me go back too very much further, but
yeah, you can't go back to 3 BC. I think the guy said
zero.
One of the guys said he used the software Stellarium, but I don't know if that's something you got to download and pay for, or if it's something that's free. But he said he went used Stellarium 3 BC, September 11th. And I do think he said you had to put in 2 BC because it skips the year 0. Or was it 4 BC? Let me see.
1800 as far back as it's letting me go to this guy. Because I've seen,
How far did you go?
This website goes about 1600. But I was going to say, I've seen like NASA type stuff, that they do the math. You can, even if you don't have a perfect star chart someone wrote down, you can, the patterns, the images in the night sky are so, regular.
Yeah.
Even if you can use the math to repeat the patterns and go back literally into the BC era if you want to. So I mean, it's not perfect, but it's good enough,
Well, yeah, even like with that Astrolabe, or like, man, you could really go far back. What I'm saying, it doesn't have to be computerized. Even like some type of manual instrument could take you pretty far back.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Pretty
You use
crazy.
the.
Yeah, let me
Go
see
ahead.
what's in the middle here. That looks like let's see. What we got. There's the Big Dipper.
I was going to ask, have you ever used that Google Sky Map app on your phone?
I tried it, but I didn't get into it. It was like I tried it like twice, and that was like maybe 4 years ago, right when I first started looking at the stars.
Yeah.
And then I found a one that's called Skyview, which is on my phone that I had to download this free, and I like that one better. It had good CGI graphics, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and it's look really nice, cartoonish. You know what I mean? And
CGI. Yeah.
yeah, it was good CGI, bro.
I was going to mention, I loved, especially showing my kids, because you hold the way you hold your phone. If this Sky View is the same as a Sky Map, wherever you hold, it's like as you move your phone, it changes where it's showing the position of the stars.
Yeah, shows you what you're looking at through the phone.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost exactly like looking at a literal window in your hand, right? And so I would look down, through the ground. You could see where, like, if it's at night, the sun, you're literally sitting on the sun, so like you're looking through the planet.
Yeah, it's almost like yeah, it's pretty cool, bro. I like it. The only difference for me is the stars don't go under my feet. They just travel far away enough, or they go to the other side of the pond.
Yeah,
I feel like almost everything works the same. And then this is one of the points that the flat earthers like to use. Like, how come none of the constellations ever change? But you're gonna say because the universe is so big, so it wouldn't change. And, there's an answer for everything.
It just takes a long, long time.
Yeah, according to NASA, 250,000 years for a constellation to change a little bit. And then if you look at written history, it's only 5,000 years old. So then it's kind of like, okay, it's changed, but nobody's ever seen it change. So it's kind of funny how that works.
Supposedly the Polaris star.
Yeah, about the year 2000 BC. I'm sorry, about the time Jesus was alive, it was called Tuban, the North Star, supposedly. But you can't find a star chart not an ancient star chart. You'll find like modern star charts that'll tell you Tuban used to be the North Star. But then I like to ask, what was Polaris called then before it was called Polaris? If that's the case, because nobody can ever tell me what was Polaris called.
Yeah, no, I've seen that before. Maybe this website will. It's been too long, so I don't remember off the top of my head. But maybe this website will explain it, because they're showing how these stars, the top does change position. And I've seen there's like two other stars before Polaris that were the North Star.
The only one I heard of is Tuban, and it was like around 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, something like that. Okay. Maybe in the middle, like 2,500 years ago. I'll look it up real quick. And it was called Tuban.
Tuban or not Tuban? Is that the question?
Yeah, Tuban or not Tuban?
I don't know.
Yeah, I like talking to you because you're sharpening up my geocentric skills, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here to please.
Feel like I've been rusty, man. I've been just slacking on the topic. I've been more focused on the.
All right, folks. Welcome. On the other side, here the forces are pushing no velocity this way, right? Because it got accelerated from the bottom. Velocity here.
Hurry up and spin it, dude. Let's want to see the thing spin.
And I let go, and sure enough, it spins in this direction, just as we predicted with the forces.
Okay, that's boring.
Gyroscope.
Aye.
But see, I was kind of right, bro. It says Tuban, Polaris did not become the North Star until about 500 AD. We'll get closer to straight above the Earth North Pole until sometime in 2102. Then it will move away again. It will be the closest star to the pole until about 3000 AD. So none of us are ever going to see Polaris not be the North Star, and nobody in the last 2,500 years. And then again, I doubt that because, like I said, when I was doing my research through it, I was kind of agnostic to it or whatever, and I was like looking around, and I cannot find a single ancient star map, like, you know what I mean, like an Egyptian star map or anything, where there's been a North Star other than Polaris. But whatever, you know.
Found it here. Subon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about
It's
500.
gonna change again, but yeah, no, maybe the Neuralink stuff, man. We can get to live longer.
You
We'll go
can
watch
you
it
can
together.
you can download. You're probably gonna be able to download yourself into the metaverse once Zuckerberg perfects it, and then you can just recycle your body and just live inside the metaverse. By
There you go.
recycle your body, I mean die.
Yeah.
And then you'll just live infinitely in the metaverse. It's a computer program.
Well, we got all kinds of technology working on replacement organs. You see the one with the pigs?
Yeah, bro. It's just like the days of Noah, I guess. All the genetic manipulation.
In this?
Ew.
They've modified pig lungs. Am I echoing? Echo.
It's just when you play videos, just because you don't have headphones, then the sound will, you know what I mean? They'll pick it up twice.
Yeah, so they're modifying these pig lungs to process human blood.
At this point, an animal or a human wouldn't have any problems to use those lungs as a replacement for human lungs.
People talk about how humans are
lost
closer
supplies.
to apes or anything, but nope, we're closer to pigs.
Who would have thunk it?
Yep.
There goes evolution right out the window.
It's rude. Messing up people's religion.
Bro, did you run into any
Did I what?
did you run into any atheists today, or is it all like Christian infighting?
Yeah, I was on Richard Mason's YouTube
Yeah, I
channel
saw
earlier tonight. Yeah.
Richard Mason's.
What's his name? Like, did I say it wrong?
Yeah, just because there's this whole thing about Masons and secret societies, whatever. But no, it's Matson.
Madsen. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but it was funny how you said that.
It's all your fault. You're corrupting me, Iger.
To me, I mean, nobody else would have thought it was funny, but I just thought it was funny.
You like military stuff at all?
Yeah, bro. I mean, we give them like trillions of dollars to, go pick on little people that don't want to conform to their government guidelines. I like the fish eye lens there, bro.
Yeah. Some sort of
nice.
GoPro on his helmet.
Yeah, I like the GoPro.
So I wasn't a tanker or anything, but I was an electronics guy, right? When I was active duty, so I actually fixed a lot of these fire control devices, the laser rangefinder and stuff. So
how far can you see with a laser,
right.
bro? How far can you see with a laser on a tank like that?
I don't know about the tank's range. The Apaches that I did, they had a 12-mile visual range. So yeah, I'll call this stuff here. These little components and stuff. I did fix this crap.
Pretty far.
Yeah.
I hear rail guns can hit a target 100 miles away. I'm like, okay, there goes the curvature of the Earth right there, bro. At 100 miles, there should be some curvature, but.
Well, when you fire something like that, or like if you like, especially like air-to-air missiles, it just curves with the Earth,
Or the Earth is not curving and it's just hitting a target 100 miles away.
Yeah. This is epic, man. It's like, yeah, especially at night. It's just the night looks like day. All these filters, all this electronic filtering.
All right, I gotta get off the F word. See if I can not bring it up for a minute. Save it for our debate.
The F word.
The F
word.
Oh,
very cute.
Yeah,
he was just fired around. Was that? It was a sugar gun. That whine noise, that's it's a gas turbine engine.
1100. Fire up.
This tank literally that big. Literally runs off a jet engine, literally.
Wait, what? The tank runs on a jet engine?
Yeah, the engine that powers this thing, the power plant, it's literally a turbine jet engine.
turns.
Bro, you know how we were talking about gas yesterday, how water can be turned into gas or whatever.
Yeah, and I saw that guy's video. I was not impressed, man. If you want to talk about it, we can, but
No. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But what about the guy with the rice cooker in his car, bro? I mean, come on. You saw that one? That was 7
I
minutes.
did. That's the one I was talking about. I had so
No.
many questions. Yeah.
Did you watch the other one? The one that was 35? Because that was the original dude, and he's the one that got killed or whatever, that everybody wanted a contract with him. Even NASA came after him and wanted I think they got some of his tech. I mean, because he put it all out there, so I don't see how they couldn't got it. And after so long, a patent or something like that would expire. But anyways, oh man, there's something else with the jet engines that I came across. That where they're not really running on gasoline. They're more running on just like they're perfectly built to where the air will come in the one side, like, and then start spinning the engines, and then it's compressing the air and pushing it out the back. And I thought that was kind of interesting, but I don't know enough about it to tell you more than that. But I just thought that was kind of cool, where because they it was one. I could look for the video if you have any interest in it, but if not, I'm not gonna waste my time. But then he said like you will need, I forget how many tankers to fill up a jet tank, and the wings will be full of fuel, and then that's Stan Meyer, bro.
Yeah, that's about as far as I got last night. About 3/4, I guess.
That's enough, bro. That's enough. I mean, that gives you a good idea of what he was doing. Yeah. He was using electrodialysis to make hydrogen out of the water and using the hydrogen to run his car. But he had it so intricately where I want to say the spark plugs themselves were delivering like the amount of hydrogen as opposed to just have it, run wild. He had it all set up like to give it just the right amount of hydrogen on his on this car he built. Everybody else just freaking runs their HHO on a gas cooker, and it's a free for all in the engine. But this guy, he had little compartmentalized, basically spark plug type things, but that deliver I guess you would call it fuel injector, little fuel injector type things that deliver the right amount of hydrogen into the chamber when the spark plug hit. All the other videos I've seen is more like free for all, huh?
It's electrolysis, not dialysis. Dialysis is where they filter your kidneys for diabetics.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
My mind's starting to go, bro. My head is all fuzzy.
That's close enough. I just want to, minor thing.
Give me another week, bro. I'm hoping in another week I'll feel pretty sharp again once my cold is gone.
So yeah, he's got all kinds of cool engineering. So yeah, I don't know. Hydrogen is a very thin gas. It's very difficult to get it in volume, and most, especially car engines, they're very finely tuned to work off an extremely limited range of octane. So if you even put the wrong type of gas in your car, you can mess it up, much less something that's not, gasoline. So lots of questions.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it will mess it up just because it's not designed for that. So eventually the car will probably mess up the gaskets and the seals. But then again, I don't know, bro, because they say hydrogen doesn't explode. It more like implodes when you light it up. So it's not like it doesn't cause like an outward pressure. It's more like an inward pressure or something. I don't freaking know, bro.
No, that's not true. No, it's explosive gas. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so he's doing it on a more, I guess, a non-traditional, maybe even a 2 or 4 stroke engine on the back of this buggy. So maybe he's got something really cool.
Yeah, he did, bro. This thing was cool, bro. It was all over the news back in those days, I guess. But
yeah. I guess the other guy, the idea that he could literally run a traditional, 4-stroke automobile engine on just water, that is a little far-fetched for me. So, but I watched it.
All right. Well,
yeah, this guy's idea.
You don't think it's possible at all. You just think it's
well, the hydrogen thing. I mean, it's possible. It's combustion. It's a combustion engine.
Check this out. There was a video from Mythbusters, and they went out with a tank of hydrogen and just hooked it up right to the carburetor, and that car ran. But like you said, how long will it run and not mess all the other engine parts up? Maybe it runs forever, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, bro. I haven't tried it myself yet, so I can't comment. But I find it fascinating that you can even just run your car on hydrogen and like that to begin with. Just got to get it pressurized though, because if it's not pressurized, it's not gonna have enough. It's not gonna deliver enough hydrogen at the time. I think that's why that other guy was using the rice cooker, because it created a lot of pressure for him.
Well, so that was the other thing that was kind of contradictory. Was he was trying to assuage whatever assuage that guy's complaint about, hey, if you're pressurizing it, is that making it a bomb? And he's like, well, no, it's not pressurized. Then you talk about how he needs 20 to 40 pounds of being pressurized. So yes, it's a pressurized hydrogen bomb. So there's danger there. But I don't know. It's a cool idea. And I love that people try to figure it out. They try to tinker with it, invent new ways of cost savings. But it's not going to be. I mean, it's not mainstream for good reasons, It's not because of evil oil companies or whatever. We could recreate this guy's experiment if we wanted to, in other words.
Well, his, I don't know. I think he had it down pat, bro. But his was a lot more complex than the rice cooker. He had a whole engineering department with him. And plus even the rocket, like we were talking, the blue origin rocket, that's what it uses basically. So
yeah. Hydrolocks.
What else I got for you today, bro?
Lay it on me.
No.
What's it called?
What we got here?
I don't know. Some random.
This is like a rocket.
This is Methalox. I looked up Hydrolox. Did I ever show you? Yep. This is what I worked on. This is my Raptor engine's test stand. I helped build this. Did I ever share that with you?
No, I thought you did like camera work for them, bro.
Well, not just camera work. I set up all the research and stuff for all this stuff. Here, let's good search.
I thought you did camera work for them, and yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, like the last time I asked you what you did, and you said you helped set up the cameras for the rocket launch.
Well, I mean, I was in charge of what the cameras were supposed to do and where they would go, but other people put the cameras up. But I did the data science, the research for all of the different processes. So I did more than just the cameras. The cameras were like one of the ways to validate the results. And so, in order to know what we're trying to test, I'm trying to find a better video. It's getting buried with time. You have to know what to point your camera at,
Yeah.
What you're trying to research. And so that's how we develop it. And so, yeah, we're doing all the demographics, all the monitoring, where's a good video? Do specific search. But yeah, no, this whole test stand here as well. I helped build it, designed it. We were going to have three bays to it. It's kind of like a multi-engine shaped thing. And is it? No. There's a better video out there that I can't seem to find quickly. So yeah, had to set up a lot of the measurements and the stuff on how to make sure the test stand didn't blow itself up, because dealing with liquid methane is dangerous by itself. Yeah, this is not the video I wanted to find. Dang on it. 2019. Is it? Yeah, this is a good one. This one shows like how big it is and stuff. It's a full scale test. So see the guy there? That's how big one of these engines are.
Yeah, it's huge.
There's 29 of them now in the Starship. So, yep, helped design all these braces. So this shot, there's what's called a rocket development hangar, right? We built this new hangar that could hold 3 stage 1s and 2 stage 2 assemblies. And so there's a large stairwell leading up to the second floor on the outside of the building. And so someone seems like they're standing on that stairwell ledge holding their camera. And so this is about probably almost a mile away, maybe 3/4 or so to a mile away. And it's shaking the guy's camera. Oh, and then the city of McGregor, they charge SpaceX $90,000 a second for noise pollution fines every time they do a rocket test like this at night. So that's why it's only a couple seconds.
How much?
$90,000 a second.
Dang.
So this one test, the city itself got a couple $100,000 in taxes. Yeah, he's keeping these cameras stable, much less not getting fried. It was a whole challenge by itself, but yep. This is the test where we didn't know till after the fact there was a small fire going on, so you can see all this extra stuff. Yeah, that's a methalox. It's methane liquid oxygen. That's one of the first Starship prototypes. I don't think that one actually flew.
No, bro,
Yeah.
that thing. It did
What's
fly. It did fly. It flew, but not that high. It flew like I forget. Not even a
About
mile.
30,000 feet.
Yeah, something crazy. I was like, all right, they only had like Mars is 40 million to 80 million miles away. They only have like
Oh, well, it's just a test.
they only have 40 to 80 million miles to go, and then next thing you know, I don't know, bro. It's funny.
This is the one that burned through the cloud. It literally left like a burnt ring in the clouds. I loved it. Here it is. See it?
Seconds, Starship 15 is airborne as we get a view of the 3 Raptor engines as we're powering our way to 10 kilometers altitude in today's test flight.
Man,
Burned a little dug hole there in the clouds.
What? It's burning a hole in the clouds.
In video from the vehicle, we continue to ascend with engine, and then we get T plus 4 minutes 34 seconds. While we're working to regain video, it looks like we've got a shot looking back at the flaps on Starship. We're in the horizontal descent phase now. We're passing 6 kilometers. Now, a reminder, phase that's coming up as we get ready for landing, we will light 3 Raptor engines, flip the vehicle from horizontal to vertical. If things look good, we will shut down 1 Raptor engine and then possibly a second one and land on a we have ignition. Starship heading back to the landing zone.
This was like a test flight, huh?
Yep.
What year? When's this from?
Huh?
When's this one from?
It's the May.
May.
Mm-hmm. It's the one that didn't blow up.
Yeah,
All
that's,
of them
I
blew
haven't
up.
been paying attention. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with all the launches and stuff for like the last
Unusual
year.
with the
Yep. Even though the seal number 10 blew up, it still had its epic looking. Here.
3, 2.
Its flip maneuver just looked. The camera caught it just perfectly. Yep, this is unreal. Look at this.
It looks kind of fake. I feel like they mixed some CGI with some real images.
Final version is going to be hopefully a little better under control. This one blew up. It landed, but it blows up. They can show it? I don't know. Nope, they can show it. It blew up a few minutes later. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. Lots of progress. They've got the full stack now. Seen it? Officially the largest rocket in the world now.
What's this one called?
This is the super heavy booster. It's called. It's a static fire, but they've stacked the. Yeah, here we go. They've stacked it together, so it's the Starship first stage, and then the second stage, and then the super heavy booster first stage. It makes it the largest rocket ever made in human history. Oh, this isn't real. This is pure CGI. I'm trying to show a picture of how big this rocket is, at least. But this is CGI, you can tell. I want to find a real one. Where's the real picture?
I don't know. I mean, I for a rocket to be on a launch pad, I wouldn't automatically assume it's CGI, but then like the camera angles and stuff, you're like, dang it, I'm dying here.
Here we go.
Let me see. Star Hopper. Oh, that's the one. That's the one I thought was hilarious. The Star Hopper when they did the test. It went up a couple feet, and then I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, about 300 feet. Yeah, it was the small one. Yeah, so they've put the two together. $400-foot tall rocket. It's bigger than the Saturn V was.
How much bigger? 11 meters, I think it said.
Oh,
Make
did
my
it say
screen
that?
big.
I don't know if it
I
said
think it said 11 meters taller somewhere.
Right.
25 meters, I guess.
The Star Hopper flight was pretty cool.
I haven't seen this one, bro. I didn't even know they had this rocket. This one you're saying that they're stacking rockets on top of each other. What's it called again?
It's the Starship with super heavy booster. It's the full prototype. Elon was trying to launch it last July-ish, but he's fighting with the FAA. This is from what, 2 summers ago now? Star Hopper?
Yeah, I was on top of this one, bro. This looks like R2D2, bro, from Star Wars.
Well, I mean, it's just a prototype. This is just the propellant side of the bottom half of the Starship. Doesn't have the rest of the fuselage. It's got one Raptor engine.
That's about the last one I've seen.
Test bed
on my own.
This is mostly just testing the maneuverability of the reaction control system to it. See?
Yeah.
That's just a tiny hop.
That was a little tiny hop, bro.
Yeah, they've done the big hops, the big jumps since. Yeah, they're waiting on Biden to ask all the seagulls to let them fire the big one. And that one's going to go to Mars. The big one's going to go to Mars. And the moon and river up. Yes, this is the old grasshopper. This is the one in McGregor. This is where they were doing their initial test development for landing the Falcon 9. Of course, they've got dozens now of successful landings with this guy. This is the McGregor facility, the R&D farm, I like to call it, the research development farm. That's where I worked.
Where's that at? Texas too?
Yeah. It's more central Texas. North of Waco, north of Austin. Yep. One little Merlin engine. Not enough to get the orbit, just enough to kind of go up a little bit and make sure it lands straight. Messing with the AI, basically. Huh?
Let's see. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Used to call this the West Side test stand here. It's all converted now. That was a big giant concrete bunker here for the what's called COPV tests. All this is gone now. Or changed. The grasshopper, the one that didn't blow up, is like a memorial site now. It's on the side of the road. Yep. So yeah, if I go back there, man, I can take you on a tour.
Let's go, bro. Texas, here I come.
Yeah. They made a cool video while I was there. I can walk you through it if you're interested. I can tell you everything about it.
Go for it.
That's a large site. It's the diverter here. That's the old tripod. They took the Stairway to Heaven down. This is structure stand. It's a large site hangar. That's a first stage booster stand with the adapter ring. That's where the old propellant farm is. It's Area 3, the COBV testing. Yeah. Did all this work, man. They're in-house baristas. This is a small site. So we've got two regular Merlin bays, North and South Bay, and then this is the Merlin vacuum bay for the vacuum Merlins. This is the water divulge, whatever you call it, for the doing a test. You dump just tons and tons of water in there to kind of try to mute the sound as well as make sure that the diverter doesn't get destroyed. That little green flash you saw, did you see that? That's how you do the ignition. It's called T-Teb. It's two forms of aluminum that by themselves is like they're like powder in these bags, but when you put them together, they ignite and they have this little green flash to it. That's how you start a rocket engine. So that was one of the improvements I did. So the as one of the data analytics guy, I replaced all of the cameras everywhere. They used to have rolling shutters, and so the rockets. You see some of the older videos that they published. You see all these lines everywhere, because the camera's shaking, so it's shaking the shutter inside. So I replaced them with global shutters, so they don't shake anymore. It's not as bad. This is where I worked. I was in the central hangar site, about right there-ish. Texas, baby. Elon says he hates the way this looks, but I don't know. It's good. It's the lobby. That's my coworker. He's my counterpart, Brandon. He's kind of punk, but she's famous. What was her name? Oh my gosh, what's her name? It starts with an E. That's Jeff. Oh my gosh, I have to remember. Anyway, so she designed what's called the Super Soaker. So we had this rocket crusher test. So it was back when the United States Air Force and the NRO and all these government people were trying to not let SpaceX, launch the secret stuff. What do you call it? The National Reconnaissance Office and all those guys. And so they gave us like extremely stupid requirements, right? So we had to literally do a full 2-minute plus burn on the ground, which was technically impossible before, we figured out how to make it possible. So anyways, we had to develop all kinds of new technology. She had to develop this multi-million-pound thrust hydraulic system, basically. And it looked exactly like a giant smoke gun, so she called it her Super Soaker. What was her name? I forget. Anyways, she's famous. So that was the security guy. So I basically sat on the opposite side of this bunch of cubes on the second floor on the other side. So I had my window, had a perfect view of south side and basically all the control room stuff. It was great. Central hangar is kind of like the general purpose, so they'll have engines. They'll have fuselages and stuff, just kind of usually preparing it to go to other places on site. A small site again. Very dirty. I love when I took my kids there. They were like, "Dad, I didn't know rocket science was so dirty." Like, yeah. Got a nice breeze going through there, man. South Bay. See? Camera's still shaking, but at least you can see the picture. There's a large site. There's the adapter ring. I improved the sound system here too, and the guys start playing like rock music and stuff, and because I had epic. So underneath here is the diverter bay, big massive iron pipe channels and stuff for the divulge system and stuff. So they had epic acoustics, and so they jam their music really loud and just be all amplified straight up. It was just gorgeous. This is west side and east side. We call them huts, West Hut. So this is where the mechanic guys sat, where all their tools and computers and stuff, and then this is where the avionics guys sat. So they had their server racks and all their fiber optic stuff to talk to the rocket. You could drive down, and this thing is so huge. I don't know if there's a picture of a car anywhere. I don't know if you can see these cars.
Yeah.
You could drive down there. Blockhouse. This is where most of the main test control centers are. Yeah. So yeah, I was in charge of all of the test data. I just helped set up all of these tests. So what was so fun about it, to be able to know what they needed to test, I had to learn everything there was about all the different engineer groups. So I knew what we were testing. So I was like the guy that helped make it all happen. Yeah, so all the different, all the things that the test operators and flight engineers do. I was the admin for the VMS. So that's what I did. That's the they call the video and data analytics. There's another term for it, I forget what it's called, but still. That's funny. They got all their computers. They turned all their monitors off. You can see the video, but you can't see the monitors. This is basically has all the SCADA stuff for all the valves and all the all the gas and stuff, the engine stuff. Let me see a little bit of it there.
That is funny.
Yep.
The computers are off and they're about to
Yeah.
What the heck, bro? Somebody.
Well, it's proprietary, man. You got company secrets. You don't want Bezos to get on it. And here's Super Draco. This was the only place that I thought had an atheist. The one of the technicians here. He had RuneScape. Those icons for your skill tree. He had it all up and down tattooed on his arm. But we think he might have been an atheist because every time we talk, because we were always debating and religious stuff, having theological discussions about stuff. So he was the one guy that didn't seem interested. He usually walked off, did something different. But his test setup, or not his, but Super Draco's, was really, really difficult. So these are the so like on my picture, the one I've got for my icon, those big fire jets on the side, those are Super Dracos, right? And it's like 250 G's worth of force that they exert on the test stand. And so before I got there, the cameras were basically useless. All they could do is do the data analytics for the transducers, and pressure gauges and stuff like that. So they're basically doing a lot of the tests blind. They couldn't do any of the thermographics. They couldn't do any of the vibration tests, all this stuff. So that was part of the science. I figured out what we had to do to get the data analytics proper. So fix the cameras. I had to work with these other engineers to figure out what the best. We figured out it wasn't rubber, some sort of HBT material, and I don't know. They were the material engineer guys that had to precise. We had to set up all kinds of other accelerometers and all kinds of gauges. So here's one of the cameras on different parts of the test stand to measure what the frequencies were, because there was the different parts of the test. So it was like at one point it'd be just a couple of hundred hertz, and then at other parts of the test it'd be 5,000 gigahertz at like 200 something G's of forces. So we had to make the dampeners dynamic enough to react to that. So not just the cameras, but the other instruments wouldn't just be useless under all these extreme pressures and vibrations and stuff. So it's a lot of work. So yeah, and I had to learn how every little tube, every little thing here works. It's pretty fun. You see how the camera auto adjusts now? That wasn't there before. With the lighting dynamic, the camera actually gives you an image, so they can actually they can focus on a particular point. You can slow down and speed up the frame rates and just do your science. There's Super Dracos right there in action. Only in Texas, a cow farm with rockets. Rocket farm. This is Merlin vacuum again. Wrapping it up, putting it at the door. So yeah, fun times. There's a Raptor engine. Beautiful. Look at those shock diamonds. That's the best shock diamonds you'll ever see in the world. Watch. Look at that. Look at that. How gorgeous that is. You know how hard that is to do? You have to get the pressures just perfect to maximize the efficiency. There's very little to no exhaust off this is the methane propellant, the Methalox. That was so hard to do.
What do they use? What do they
methane?
use on the SpaceX rockets that for fuel? It's not hydrogen.
So the Merlin engines for the Falcon 9s, the Falcon Heavies use cryolocks, the kerosene with liquid oxygen. Raptor uses methane. You see it's got that purple tint to it?
Yeah.
That's the Methalox propellant. This is what's going to Mars and elsewhere. It's one of the most efficient rocket engine designs in the world. It's a full flow design engine, so that means that so normally on a stage combustion like the Merlins and like in the old NASA rockets, they had big exhaust ports, right? So there's it's called a gas generator in turbo shafts that help. There's massive like several tens of thousands of RPM basic pumps, right? These massive pumps that push the propellants, the cryogenic liquids through the system, and so you literally use part of the propellant to drive those pumps, right? And so one of the older designs, like the Merlins, the fuel used for the gas generators to pump the fluids for the rest of the engine get mixed in the pump, and then just has exhaust. So there's an exhaust pipe basically. So you see there's soot that comes out of it, right? So when we designed the Raptor engine, we made it full flow. So both the methane, the CH4 cryogenic, and the liquid oxygen are both used in two different pumps. There's a pump for each side, and so both mixtures are used for both pumps, and then both sides are everything's recycled back through the main exhaust of the main combustion chamber. So it's full flow. There's no waste. And the Russians tried to do that, decades ago, and it's so hard to do. They blew up all their engines. We have to use this very extremely hard to work with super metals, incel type metal, to get the temperatures right, and just oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. But yeah, it's working. There's a Raptor 2 engine now. Elon's working Raptor 3. Oh, good stuff, huh? Any questions?
Yeah, actually, that was pretty educational, bro. Not that I think we're going to space or anything, but I do believe engines are real. I do believe engines are real, so I think it's
Elon Musk is working so hard on his plans for humanity.
Whatever that was, looked like Starfleet from Darth Vader or whatever.
I was just looking up any news on the new Raptor engine. So there was a leaked email just a couple days ago or so now from Elon to the SpaceX guys that if he was worried that if they don't get the Raptor engine manufacturing process up to speed that the company's going to go bankrupt. He says they think that they need to launch at least one Starship every 2 weeks next year, or SpaceX will go bankrupt. And so
Yeah.
so that's part of the. I mean, it's part of the reason I might go back either to McGregor. I asked Kelly; she doesn't want to go down to South Texas, but so he's the Raptors and the Merlins. They're currently being made in Hawthorne in California. Oh, here, cool. There's a cool explanation of what I was talking about the full flow. But they're basically they're moving the manufacturing facilities from California to Texas as well. So a bunch of my old friends are all trying to talk about, hey, we built 2 new Raptor stands since you left. You need to come help. Blah, blah, blah. So there's a motive to go back there to help ramp up the Raptor production to help, get to Mars sooner.
SpaceX afloat.
Yep.
How can they go bankrupt, bro? It doesn't make any sense, man.
It's a lot of money. Hundreds of billions of dollars. NASA is obsolete.
Yeah, they don't even have a rocket to take you to space, bro. They haven't had a rocket since the space shuttle program shut down.
Well, they're developing the SLS, the Space Launch System. They showed a picture of it in here somewhere, that big ugly looking thing. But yeah, it's probably, I don't know if it might launch, but it's not going very far.
NASA gets freaking $26 billion a year now. How much does SpaceX get from the government?
They don't get much from the government. Less than 10% of SpaceX's budget is public. 90% of it is all private, from like other companies and telecom companies for like satellites and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. There's a few billion. You look up the crew resupply mission, CSR missions that SpaceX does and others. That's where they get most of their money from the government. But I'm sure it's several hundreds of millions of dollars. But
they get $1 billion, bro, which is kind of like a fraction of what they get 885.5 million worth of federal subsidies for blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. You want to see this clip? How a full flow engine design works?
Yeah, man. I like.
We need 2 separate turbines. One driven by the fuel-rich preburner, and another driven by the oxidizer-rich preburner. The LOX turbine and pump are driven by a high-pressure gas, generated by combusting the oxidizer flow coming directly from the LOX tank and mixing with a fraction of the fuel flow in the oxidizer-rich preburner. On the fuel side, the fuel pump and turbine use the full fuel flow that comes directly from the fuel tank.
Seems so simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like a steam engine, kind of like how it works. Where you just got
basically, you got pumps instead of steam. It's using methane, but
yeah.
To mix it down with a small fraction of the oxidizer, which is necessary to generate the preburner gas that drives the fuel turbine. In a nutshell, Raptor uses separate turbines and pumps on the fuel side and oxidizer side as part of full flow stage combustion cycle.
Yeah, this can't happen unless you got very special types of alloys now because it gets so hot.
Of the main turbo pumps to create a combustion chamber pressure ever reached by 30 bars. This record made this engine the highest combustion chamber pressure ever reached by an operational rocket engine.
That's right.
Surpassing the record held by the RD-701 rocket engine.
Sorry, Russians.
100 bars. The main benefit of this system is that the turbines run cooler and at lower pressure.
See, this is talking about what's called slosh. This is another big problem for rockets designs. So, when you're on the planet, you got gravity, right? So it holds the fuel down for you, so it goes to where the pumps and stuff are where you want it to go.
Well,
right?
It's called density too, but whatever.
Well, yeah. So in space, though, not only do you not have you don't have enough gravity, but the stuff moves around. It sloshes around. So there's all kinds of baffles and things in here, fins, to try to keep it separate. Yeah. Well, to keep it going into the pumps like we want.
Yeah.
But we have we usually use helium. The COPVs, carbon overwrapped pressure vessels, they're full of liquefied helium that releases into the chamber as the fuel gets used up to keep it pressurized. Try to force the propellants, the liquid, at the bottom of the tank. It's not easy.
System is that the turbines run cooler and at lower.
Yeah, so that's this. That's the liquid oxygen. That's the methane.
Pressure due to increased mass flow, leading to longer engine life and less refurbishment. That's a good thing when you plan to reuse your engine over and over with a lot of servicing. SpaceX made 2 variants of the Raptor.
This is a regular Merlin M1D. This is the vacuum. The same engine, just you get more performance in space with vacuum. This is the Merlin vacuum, they call it. It looks different. I mean, they got different nozzles, but you can see the similarities in the engines.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but
yeah, same engine, just different configuration. Yeah,
it looks bigger. That's well.
I tease evolution.
Actually, the thing itself doesn't even look that much bigger. It's just the cone at the bottom there looks bigger.
I'm saying, right?
Yeah, the engine itself looks the same.
Yep, the shape of the exhaust nozzle it makes it more efficient. The bigger one here gives you more thrust, like this when you're in vacuum. This gives you more thrust to weight ratio in atmosphere. So this is the first stage. This is the second stage, but the same engine.
Just different exhaust or whatever you want to call that.
I like to tease evolutionists. You know, they say how evolution is change over time. So like, yeah, is that like a Merlin 1D engine configured for atmospheric evolving? You know, enough of them crash together and mix up together. Eventually, they'll evolve into the vacuum configuration. So, nothing's random.
Engine.
That took a lot of engineering.
Sea-level variant, which will be used in Super Heavy booster, and 3 of the 6 engines on the ship will also be the sea-level variants.
Dancing engines.
The second variant is the vacuum-optimized engine. The other is a thrust of around 200, and it will be Raptor 2, powerful version. Each one's also to the case.
Lots of good stuff.
Simple cherry trips, pump seals. Using these space the best ever. Let's discuss it down below.
Pretty
Thanks
good.
For watching.
Pretty cool. Digging it actually.
Oh, cool. This is Tim's.
A new launch facility in full comparison engine.
There you go.
The record context against.
This is the traditional rocket engine design. This is what Merlin uses. This is what the NASA's F1 engine for the Saturn V uses.
Let me see.
It has 1 preburner, huh?
No, I was just taking a closer look. Okay.
So it has one preburner that powers all of the turbo pumps and 1 exhaust. So that's where you get a lot of smoke, soot. In the closed cycle, it tries to recycle the soot back into combustion, but it makes it very rich. So it's got problems. This is what the Raptor engine uses. Raptor uses full flow. Sorry. All both the LOX and the propellant get remixed together. Yeah, that's the basic designs of all the different engines out there.
And other engine cycles. We're going to do a full comparison of the Raptor engine versus a bunch of other engines, including SpaceX's current workhorse, the Merlin engine, against the RS-25, the Space Shuttle main engine, the F1 engine that powered the Saturn V.
So this is a hydrogen one here, Hydrolux, RS-25.
That also runs on methane. And as if the full flow staged combustion liquid look at the instead of any other common propellant.
Here you go. You're going to see comparisons of, so RP1, that's the
Raptor
propellant. Or not propellant, that's kerosene.
Oh, kerosene.
RP1 is kerosene. Kerolux. And methane and then hydrogen. Like that. And icky stuff. It's cute.
Yeah.
Now this engine isn't really the best at anything. Efficient.
Anyway, so yeah. Any other questions or thoughts or whatever?
Nah, nothing here, bro.
Hey, one way.
One way's here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Haven't seen him.
Said, oh, hi. Ni hao. It's about only Chinese I know.
One way, you want to come in, bro? I got to go inside here in 20
What's
minutes.
that, Kelly? Farm some gold. Ni hao. My wife is very cute. Yeah, I'm going to go take a quick, 30-second break. Mr.
Me too.
Iger,
I'm
you
gonna
need
use
to
the
get,
bathroom actually. So
yes, and you need to try to coax One Way into join the channel. I'll be right back.
all right, come on, One Way, come on in, man. Get in here, bro. My thing don't crash, so I can't share my my screen. But I'm getting some rocket information. For my next flat Earth debate coming up, one of these days, 2 weeks, with Joel. Oh, you're cooking some steak. That's good, bro. Yeah, I gotta go inside soon myself.
Did it work?
Nah, bro. He said he's cooking.
He needs to come cook us some steaks. That's what it is.
Yeah, man, for real. Pass them around, bro. Get them New York strips up here.
Yep. Well, you go party at One Way's house someday. I'll bring
All
the
right, hold
pineapple
on, bro.
juice.
I'll be back in like a minute, too.
Okay. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, gosh. Erwin is her name? Gosh, I'm trying to remember her name, so sucks. Yeah. It'd be nice to hear from you for a moment, One Way, if you get a chance between all your epic steaks and stuff. Cooking at freaking 2 o'clock in the morning. What the heck? What? Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's probably very awesome, but excuse me. If you're still listening, One Way, did you hear about the Supreme Court talking about reversing Roe versus Wade finally today? I thought that was pretty epic news I'd like to share. Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yep, he is busy and buried in his steak cooking, I guess.
Ooh, that's good, bro.
So yeah, tons of progress. Government's getting in the way as usual, slowing us down. But
yeah, the government, they're the bad ones here.
Yep. Usually, yeah, man. No, there's some serious real world. I mean, hundreds and billions of trillions of dollars trying to go places, trying to get off Earth.
To Mars, bro. To Mars, because we're just gonna let the government have the Earth, and then we're gonna start our own colonies in Mars.
Yeah, that's the first step.
Nah, man, I'm not giving up the Earth that easily, bro.
Yeah, we might not have a choice.
I don't care, bro. According to the Bible, Jesus Christ is gonna come back, and then we get the Earth for 1,000 years. So,
well, that's gonna be a new Earth, right?
Well, after the 1,000 years, I want to say that's when the new Earth comes. But for the first 1,000 years, then if you read the last 3 pages of the Bible, and I did it the last year, I've been thinking about it a lot. So I went ahead and reread Revelation a couple times, and Matthew 24, just for the end time stuff. I've been interested about it lately. So after the 7-year tribulation, all the wrath and everything, Jesus comes back. He throws the Antichrist into the lake of fire. Not the Antichrist. They call it the
beast?
False prophet. Yeah, and the beast. The false prophet and the beast get thrown into the lake of fire, and then Jesus rules for 1,000 years. And after that, it seems like we have Judgment Day. Everybody gets raised from the dead, and then after that, we have the new Earth. So,
okay,
that's pretty
sounds
good.
about right.
Yeah,
Mrs. Joel,
paraphrasing a little bit.
You should come ask. That was an excellent question just for Iger. Come on.
I don't. Well, he doesn't know me well enough to tease him a little
Yes,
bit.
well, he's okay. I know him well enough. He's teasable, so enjoy.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not buying it.
I'm just being a fart, okay? And I apologize ahead of time.
Wait.
I don't mean any offense.
Are you an old fart? Good.
I was gonna ask, is the new Earth gonna be round or flat?
It'll be flat, obviously. Water doesn't.
Obviously.
I had
Space.
to. I couldn't resist, sweetie. It's good to hear your voice again.
Well, I'm gonna ask Joel as a rebuttal, like when does the QMAX start? Because with the shuttle program, they used to call it the roll program, where you know it looks like the rocket's curving back down. So where does the Max Q start with the SpaceX stuff? Which is the thing where the
it's different for different designs. All Max Q, all that means is that's the maximum aerodynamic pressure that when the fuselage of a rocket, you know, or even aircraft, even as it's accelerating up, the lower you are in the atmosphere, you know, the denser the air is. Yeah. So you've got a lot of pressure, and so as you're gaining speed and the air is still thick, you're putting more and more pressures on the fuselage, right? Yeah. And so when you get to the point where you finally get to max Q, that's the maximum amount of pressure.
Kind of like crushing itself in, I guess.
Yes. So in fact, that's what that rocket crusher test was designed to do.
But it also coincides with that's when the roll program, they used to call it with the space shuttle, that's when it started to curve back down. And then with the SpaceX, that's when it starts to curve back down as well. I will say with SpaceX, bro, I saw one of the launches and it looked like they hit the dome or whatever. And it created a little vortex looking thing. And I was like, holy crap, what did they do? But nothing happened. But it was so weird, bro. It looked like a cloud and it was swirling around in circles. And a lot of people think they're hitting the dome and creating a ripple effect on the waters above.
That's probably the nitrogen. Let me see if I can find a video of that.
Man, I was watching it, so my phone couldn't capture it because I did videotape it, but it didn't catch what I'm saying. Like it hit something, and then there was like a little swirl, kind of like the picture I got here now with the little circles. Or if you can imagine, like, you know, what you see when you're getting hypnotized, that little swirl looking thing. And I was like, what the heck? I've never seen that before and that was like, I want to say it was like 2 years ago, maybe almost 3 years ago.
Let's see if I can find it. I know exactly.
With the space shuttle, it was like just like curving, nothing hitting the dome, but with the SpaceX launch, it's almost like they're hitting it, skipping through the dome and making a ripple effect, a wake, if you will, in the waters above.
Oh, this is cool, by the way.
That is kind of cool, yeah. That's not
so as it gets higher in the atmosphere. Oh, by the way, you finish explaining. So max Q. So as you get higher and higher, and the air gets less dense, gets thinner.
Yeah,
it gets to once you get to that, the max Q is the most pressure versus speed that the rocket will see, and once you get past max Q, the theory is you've gone through the worst of it. So all the worst disaster, the potential for the rocket to fail, is going to happen before max Q, and so after that, it should be more smoother sailing.
The rocket,
and then as you get higher, you can see the exhaust change. See how the exhaust is kind of thin and compressed. As it gets higher in the atmosphere, the air gets less dense. The gas, the plume, the exhaust plume, spreads out wider because there's less pressure, so it's not keeping the exhaust together. It's really cool looking.
It hits another thrust set right there.
Yeah, that one also I've seen where people say like it looks like they're making a wake.
Yep.
Type of thing effect on the. You would call it the atmosphere, but from a flat Earth perspective, you would call it the dome or the waters above. At that point, it's hitting the dome and making some type of wake effect up there.
Well, is this what you were thinking? You're talking about this is the cold nitrogen reaction control system jets. So this is the second stage.
But what I was talking about, I've never seen it on video before. So it's got to be real hard to capture. It was here in Florida.
Maybe this is similar.
I don't have
This
That's
is
pretty
a very
cool.
rare image because this was right after the sundown. So whatever you call it, sunset.
Yeah.
And so even though it was night on the ground, there's still some sunlight in the upper atmosphere. So you get to see the reflection of the sunlight off the gases and stuff. So it's really cool. But this is that second stage, so it's separated. It's still going on into higher orbit. This is the first stage, and it's using its jets to literally spin around to come back to land.
Looks as though a cloud of smoke with its own mind is just shooting through the sky.
So that made me wonder if that's what you were thinking you were talking about.
It wasn't it, but even this one I find a little kind of interesting because you're saying that's the rocket then that's causing the little circle wakes up there, just correcting itself to try to find start to redirect itself back down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you remember earlier we showed how the atmospheric configuration Merlin was real small and a thin nozzle.
Yeah.
And the vacuum was real wide. You can see why. See, as you get higher in the atmosphere, the exhaust the plume gets larger and larger, so it gets you get higher efficiency with the larger nozzle. It's really cool stuff. Yeah, there are videos from the onboard cameras where you can see the first stage trying to turn around.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy looking.
There's
Even more right there.
Did you see that fairing deploy? There.
You know what? It was nighttime, so maybe that's what I saw. Just a little swirl like that going around. Yeah, maybe. But it was dark. It was so dark, and then it was weird looking at nighttime, like almost like it was like a portal to another dimension per se. When they were hitting it, it was creating a swirl, but. It was cool. It was, even my girlfriend at the time, she was like, "Is that supposed to happen?" I'm like, "Oh no, that looks creepy to me." It was like they hit the dome and then it's swirling around, and then it's like they freaking breached the firmament here.
So there's from the rocket perspective, cameras on the side. See how the exhaust is going out wider because the pressure of the atmosphere is getting thinner. So there's less pressure keeping the rocket exhaust together, so it expands. And so all those plumes we were watching earlier, all those little spirals and spits, that's this nitrogen control system here. Helps reorientate.
How high are we at right now? I guess that's.
I have to look it up.
It starts to come back down. How high are we at?
Yeah, this is low orbit. This is not full orbit. This is.
But how high would you say this is?
It's probably less than 100 kilometers. It's less than the.
So it's the Kármán line. It's always.
It's probably less than
that. I find that interesting. It's always the Kármán line.
Oh, that's crazy. Something broke off. You see that? Maybe that's ice or something. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever that is. It's a bird, bro. Hey, rewind that, bro. Was that a bird?
I'm telling you, there's several chunks of it. Watch. You'll see several chunks come off.
Bro, what is that?
I'm guessing it's some sort of ice or something coming off the jets. See?
Bro, that looks like a bird. Rewind that.
It does. It looks like some sort of chunk of something coming off. Yeah.
That thing was flapping its wings, man. Rewind it, bro. Rewind it. I want to see that again.
There's more than one.
There's like
first
a
one
flock of birds 100
figure.
Kilometers up. No way.
See that first one?
Bro, that looks like a bird.
What the It's like a string of ice or something. Hold on. I'm trying to get
a string of ice.
Right, like off a snow cone or something. So, there we go. See it?
I see it.
Almost like a person. And there's another chunk comes off later.
That's a weird looking piece of ice, bro.
See? There's another chunk there.
That's the birds that are flying 100 kilometers up in the atmosphere. Nothing to worry
There's all kinds of condensation and
it's the ducks going to Florida, bro.
Yeah. That's what's left of the ducks that it crashed into.
You got some high altitude ducks or whatever.
Yeah. So all those little swirls that we saw, that's these nitrogen jets. Maneuvering jets. And it's kind of cool when they test them in the hangar on the ground. It's a big giant all over the place. It's kind of scary. There you go. Slows down. It's in the reentry burn. Now these cameras on these fuselage cameras, they're the whoever it is, the FAA. They charge $40,000 per camera to license if you have any kind of camera that's in orbit that looks at the Earth. This is a very, very expensive camera. It's a $1 million AI that helps direct this thing to land properly.
So the max Q you're saying starts about 100 kilometers, and that's when you see it.
No, that's much sooner.
It was much sooner than that.
Yeah, max Q is in the atmosphere still. So I can find some sort of thing on it. Is Wikipedia going to be useful for once? No. Never mind.
No way, you're far off. Whatever that was.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm looking for a picture.
Crazy.
Why does it show me graphics cards? I don't want graphics cards. What?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's weird. Yeah, the Max Q, the roll program.
Oh, so the roll, what you're talking about, that is when you get enough vertical velocity going up, you want to start to go flat, you know?
Yeah. Well, you don't want to hit the dome, bro, obviously.
Well, you start to transfer your vertical velocity into horizontal velocity so you can stay in orbit.
But no,
dude, why is this?
Back in the what I'm talking about is back in the days of the space shuttle program, they used to call it the roll program, where you see the space shuttle kind of start turning and heading back down towards the Bermuda Triangle. But then with SpaceX, I mean, SpaceX does seem to hit the dome or whatever from Florida, where I'm at, and skim through it, and then it disappears. It's weird because with the space shuttle, you can almost kind of see all the way down into the horizon, but with the SpaceX, it just kind of disappears at one point. So
I was hoping to find
it's a little different. It's a little different than the space shuttle days, I guess.
This chart's not exact. I was hoping to find like an altitude chart. This shows pressure over time, but as the rocket goes up, the pressure. This is higher pressure here, 0 to 35-ish kilopascals, and then once you get past that max Q, that maximum pressure point, then the rocket doesn't have those forces anymore. It gets easier until the point you leave atmosphere. Then there's no pressure on it. So that's like the point of possible. That's just the hardest stress or pressures on the rocket. And after it reaches past that, then it's smooth sailing basically. I'd like to find out where the height is, but velocity, density, time elapsed. Nope.
Put roll program space shuttle, bro. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Well, that's just when the space shuttle does a roll, and then it uses the ailerons to pull back to do that, to turn on its side, basically, to get to transfer the horizontal, the vertical into the horizontal. I've got a video of I guess I could show of my Kerbal Space Program example of what you're talking about, the roll program thing.
Yeah, but that's when it starts to go vertical and then start to head back down.
Yeah, I got
a funny video, bro, of kids, like little kids just out there with their parents. They're like, "Oh no, is that supposed to happen? It's coming back down. No." It's hilarious, bro. And I'm like, "Oh shit." Yeah. And then the dad in the video is like, is the rocket going down or is the Earth curving? And it's like, no, the fucking rocket's going down, man. I'm sorry. The rocket's going down, yeah. Well,
reminds me of an old hippie song. It's about, what's that sound? Everybody look what's coming down. Yeah, I made a video.
Come down, bro.
Yep.
I used to believe in
years ago.
You know what's funny, bro? You know what's funny? That before, I feel like back in like 20 years ago when I was a little kid, you would reach a point, you would think, or we were programmed, I guess, to believe that the rocket would reach a point where it just escapes Earth gravity, and then it starts to float. People, you know what I mean? It's just floating and whatever. But now it's like you're constantly falling. Like the ISS is not floating up there; it's constantly falling around the Earth. So I feel it's kind of funny how the paradigm shift came, for me, anyways. That when I was a little kid, or even to when I was like 30 or whatever, the concept was that, you know, once you reach a certain altitude, you would just start floating, but that's not the case. It's you gotta like start falling and towards the earth because you're still being affected by gravity.
I made this recording for a friend of mine that was asking about the Kerbal Space Program game years and years ago, right? This is just an old asparagus type design, super heavy design that I made. And I was just making a recording, not thinking much of it, just showing him, you know, some of the controls and, you know, some of the statistics for it. And it turned out to have this absolutely beautiful, gorgeous sunrise launch that I had no idea. And I tell people I probably couldn't say this is that roll maneuver here. You see, after a while, once you get high enough.
Well, that's a video game, bro.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's this video game, but yeah.
Well, yeah, well, it's the same math and everything, but yeah. So after a while, you want to start to roll into the pull of gravity, so that you're not fighting. You don't want to go too high. You know, if you kept going straight up, you get to the point where you have a parabolic curve, you'll just fall straight back to the earth. But the idea is to get into that sweet spot, to get into that like you just described, where you're falling at the same speed as you're traveling, so that you don't actually hit the earth. You're falling around it. So this is my roll maneuver, so to say, as I'm slowly flattening the curve, convert my horizontal, my vertical into horizontal. But yeah, I don't know if I could retime a launch like this if I wanted to, if I tried. And here in a moment, the Milky Way galaxy arm shows up in the background. It's just gorgeous. My thrust to weight ratio was a little overpowered.
Look at this thing. Looks like it's about to blow up, bro.
Yeah, it's like
I feel bad for the astronauts in there, bro. They're getting freaking baked.
Well, they're Kerbals. They can take it. See?
Yeah, they can take it. Okay, bro. No, man.
See, the catch is that some of the
This
engineering
is
is
man. This I know it's a video game, but still.
Yeah.
Like, look at that, bro. You're like at 3,000 degrees or something like that. What are these walls made out of? I'm pretty sure. What is the dragon capsule made out of, bro? What material is this that doesn't transfer heat when you're at 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit?
Look how perfect that was. And gorgeous. Lithium aluminum is the main alloy metal. Starship's going to use stainless
steel. What's the melting point of aluminum, bro?
Well, it's not 3,000
degrees or something like that.
It's not.
People are like at 3,000 degrees, and then they're just fine.
It's not 3,000 degrees.
That little animation you had there made it look like probably more than 3,000 degrees. That thing was burning up like an amber.
Yeah, it was perfect timed launch there. Anyways, yeah, that's the roll. I was waiting for my apogee because I wanted to get a perfect 100,000 kilometer or meter, or whatever, 100 kilometer circular orbit. So I'm waiting for my. If you get to the top of the apogee, the curve, and then circularize your orbit, then you can get a better perigee, so you can stay in orbit more efficiently. So if you go too soon, you won't have a perfect circular orbit. So I'm at 92,000 meters right now. Wait until I get to 100,000.
But you said it was made out of aluminum what?
It's lithium aluminum.
Okay.
There's all kinds of other composites, of course, but you kind of see it, sort of. You see how?
It's 363 degrees melting point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, bro. There's so many questions that I have, I guess, for another night.
Well, keep in mind, when you're in the upper atmosphere, like you're in the stratosphere like this, there is no friction. There's almost no air. See, I'm circularizing my orbit. The blue line.
Yeah. That almost looked like a flat Earth there for a second, but
yeah. Yeah, there you go. So now I'm in a perfect. I got 100 kilometer apogee and a 100 kilometer perigee. Oop, it's the end of the video. Anyways, that was one of a perfectly, untimed launch.
That was pretty, bro.
Yeah, and some other cool ones.
That was pretty. That was pretty. I like the live footage better than the animation. I gotta say, like I was getting into when you were showing the rocket launches and stuff like that.
Sure,
it's more believable to me because I can get with some real nice engines being built, but I have a lot of questions. I get it. There's no air up there and whatever. The heat doesn't transfer as well.
Hmm.
But then how they would measure it to be 3,000 degrees in the first place? I mean, if you can't register it.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. I think you're making that number up.
No, but look, you can look it up. What's the temperature of the atmosphere as high as you go, and then
very cold.
It's pretty hot according to them, bro.
No, you'll die. You'll freeze.
Here, I'll just look it up.
Barely go 10,000 feet to get cold.
Temperature.
That's why, like in World War II, all the old school, aviators, they wear those big, thick leather, coats with all the fuzz and stuff. Is because they're up there at a high altitude. They didn't have heaters, so they had to wear jackets to stay alive. Cold up there, man. Go mountain climbing. You can't breathe. You have to bring oxygen just to breathe. You're going higher than a mountain. The Earth is very dynamic. It is not the same on the ground. It's easy to forget.
Most I can find is 90 kilometers up on Google. What the heck?
Yep.
100 kilometers.
I was thinking of getting my pilot's license still. It's one of my things I've been wanting to do all my life. And I keep seeing these small pilots.
You should go for that, bro. I second that. Get your pilot's license, bro. Go fly around.
Yep, I'm seeing all these old trainer craft flying over. As I live a block away from a airport here, small airport. I was looking into it, 20 years ago. It was like $400 a lesson. I have no idea how much it is now. I'm gonna look it up. Get my pilot's license finally. This is fun. I love flying. It's free. You feel like you freedom.
Temperature of the exosphere 1700 degrees Celsius.
Excuse me.
Now, how do you measure that if you can't feel it? It doesn't. I don't know. A lot of things don't make sense to me, bro.
Well, we can try to figure it out if you want.
It used to. I used to buy it all hook, line, and sinker, but now I just question everything, and then
good
messes me up.
Question everything.
It's healthy, bro. It's healthy.
Agreed. Thomas Jefferson.
Especially now, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Nowadays, you gotta question everything.
Yes, sir.
These people are like double talking themselves all the time. You could find like videos of like even Anthony Fauci saying, don't wear a mask, and then a week later wear a mask, and it's like, what the heck?
Yep. I thought I lost my embedded overlays that I created for StreamYard, and I found them yesterday. I'm going to add.
I'm going to have to let you go here pretty soon, Joel. I got to go inside. But yeah, question everything, man. That's real healthy, especially nowadays with this. I feel almost bad for these people. Like, a lot of people that didn't get vaccinated yet. They're like, they're trying to convince some people to get their first dose, And then at the same time, they're trying to sell the third dose to people that already got the first two. And it's like now they got a new variant. So they're going to come up with a, the moronic variant, they call it, because it's the acronym, or yeah, I guess that's what you would say. It's an acronym, or not even an acronym. It's what do you call it? Like a Scrabble type of thing where you can make the same word. So moronic variant, you could do it Omicron, and then it's like, how many? When would this madness ever end? It's probably never gonna end till Jesus Christ comes back, bro.
Yep. Never let a good crisis go to waste. But so this is the Jefferson quote just for you, Tiger. And you got one way to finally join. It was good. Good job.
You did?
Question with boldness, even the existence of a god, because if there be one, he must more approve of the homage of reason than that of blindfolded fear. Question with boldness. Everything. What's up, one way?
Nice to see you.
Calvatard. I love it.
I actually did a debate with One Way once upon a time, bro. Me and you, Joel.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do it 2 weeks from now?
I don't know how to debate flat Earth versus round Earth stuff, man.
I'm gonna crush you just like I did One Way, but I still like I do admire you guys that believe in the heliocentric model.
Okay.
Because even you, Joel, like I see you arguing with the atheists, which I don't come across that many anymore. But but you could say, you could even turn the heliocentric model to show God's creation or whatever. So I do admire that about you guys. But anyways, God bless, good night, and then I hope you guys have a good conversation. And I had a great conversation with you
too, Iger.
Yeah, man. I'll hit you up next time you go live this week. And then send me an email, and then we'll try to see if we could do something. I think it'll be fun, bro, just to give everything else that's going on in the world a break. I think it'll be fun.
All right. Well, yeah, you'll probably win because again, I all I've got is CGI, so
it's cool, bro. I'll use your CGI against you.
Okay.
I'm good at that.
Very good.
But I appreciate the knowledge of the engines, man. I thought that was pretty interesting because I like stuff like that. All right, bro. You guys have a nice chat. I'll catch you guys later. I'll probably listen in while I'm getting ready for bed and stuff. God bless you too, One Way. Nice to see you, bro.
Have a good night, Mr. One Way.
You didn't seriously think I was going to rush in here in the middle of cooking a prime New York strip steak, right?
Dude, priorities, right?
Yes, I'm hungry.
Did you eat it already?
No.
Uh-oh.
I think I had, what did I eat today? I had a can of chicken soup, and now it's going on tomorrow now, right?
Dang.
Yeah.
What time is it for you?
1:44 a.m.
Yeah. You have quite the eclectic schedule there, sir.
Yes, I do.
I was supposed to come home. I dropped my kid off at work around 3 o'clock ish this afternoon, and I was supposed to come home and finish this dumb code I've been wrestling with for months. But I took a nap instead. Woke up like 4 hours later, around 7. So I haven't done any code tonight. I don't think I'll do any code, but oh well. What are they gonna do? Fire me? Lol.
There's got to be some hidden Noel joke in there.
Yeah. Because my name's Joel.
No, just with the coding thing. You said, "Oh well."
Oh, Noel. Oh well. Huh. I don't know. I guess that's my way of venting some stress. My boss was getting cranky with me taking so long, but I don't know if you heard me talk about the other night how he started to help me a little bit with it, and so he realized how incredibly daunting it is. So he's either stopped, his expectations have been properly in place, or I don't know. I'm trying not to stress about it. I just want to get it done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm trying to avoid the stress, so I'm not pushing myself. I'm just gonna, whatever. We'll see.
I'm just waiting 5 minutes.
5
minutes, and then I can eat my steak now.
You have to share, man. It's culture, you know. It's just civility. It's share the steak. Some sort of.
I'm just trying 20 million ways to cook steaks so that I
Yeah.
finally get it down to the one way, right? There's the pun.
Oh, I see what
that
you
it's
did there.
always going to be done.
The one way of steak cooking. So steak, or just red meat in general, man, that's not very cheap these days, man. You got quite the expensive palate there, huh?
I do. Yes.
It's nice.
But I also
Yeah.
don't eat 3 times a day and many times not even 2 times a day. So,
Yeah. I had a chicken fried steak from a Korean restaurant today that the company paid for. So, which makes it taste better, of course.
nice.
Yeah. It was different. It was good, but different.
You know, I was watching how Chinese folks roast hogs, whole hogs, last night until like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And they have like this weird process where like the skin turns into like pork rinds and they leave it on, right? So that you can eat the skin along with the meat. Unlike the way that we do it here in America, right? Where we just like split it wide open and then only eat the meat and then leave the skin behind.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of pork, but you want to hear a gross story about cooking whole pig?
Sure.
So I was in Korea in Wonju, and we had, we were a tiny little post, right? Like 400 people on top of this mountain. It was one of the smaller posts. It was the highest alcohol consumption per capita rate in the entire southwestern, or whatever it is, southeastern Pacific theater. And so one night, they're all, a bunch of us were out there and having a party. They're doing I thought it was called the Mongolian, whatever. I found out later it's not Mongolian barbecue. Anyways, it's like a Hawaiian thing where they dig like this deep pit. That's why you reminded me of it. And they season up the pig, and then they put a bunch of coals, start it in the pit, get it all hot, and then they put the pig in there and they bury it, right? And it's supposed to cook underground for like 8 hours or something like that. Well, it sounds similar to what you were talking about or not. But the catch was when the 8 hours came around, they're getting ready to eat it that night. They dug it up, and somehow the coals either didn't get lit properly or didn't stay hot, and so it was all rotten and nasty. And
so it just like made the meat go bad instead of cooking it.
Yes, and a lot of people were already drunk, so they were puking everywhere. It was great.
It's nasty.
Yeah, that night was ruined. Yes, it was still a good memory though, right? That's all that counts.
It's kind of similar. The videos that I was watching is the way that they do it. It's like there's this upright furnace, right?
Huh.
Kind of like a forge. Like if you watch some of these forge videos where you like roll in a piece of metal and then let it bake. Like they just kept doing that. It just looked tedious as heck. I've seen some other videos where they bury hogs underground, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then just like leave them there for like 10 hours or whatever.
Like a slow roast, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, we were just a bunch of.
I'm not very fond of pork, but I cooked pork chops that night, right? And I was curious, like how would you cook a whole pig, right?
Right. Dude, and I just remembered another pig story. Go ahead.
And it turns out there isn't just one way.
Yeah. You should change your YouTube name. One way to cook a steak or something. I don't know. Yep. Another old army pig story. This was in Germany, right? And it's some sort of FTX. It wasn't with the German units. It was just on our own, I think. And we're walking around somewhere in the Black Forest, right? Central Germany, middle of nowhere. I had no idea where we were. But we came across this farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, right? And I think we were supposed to not be found, but somehow he caught us. But he was all, he was all cool. He's all thankful, and was thanking us for our service and all that good stuff. And he gave us a little pig, a little tiny little. It wasn't exactly a piglet, but it was a small pig, because I guess he knew that we're out there with just our MREs. We hadn't had real food in a couple weeks. So the idea was, I guess, we were going to carry that pig with us and cook it somewhere, and we kind of kept it around with us for a while, kind of try to keep it quiet, whatever, because we had OPT4 out there. So, but we would feed it like bits and pieces, all the stuff you didn't want to eat, in the MRE. In fact, that reminds me of another funny story. Same instance. So we tossed our leftovers, whatever, and the pig would eat pretty much anything, including the hey, it's Renzo, including the hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, brother.
How's Japan doing tonight?
It's cold. It's very cold.
Yeah? Actually sounds nice.
How's it going, Renzo?
What's up, One Way the Calvitard?
Yes.
It's One Way the steak culinary artist tonight.
Yes, hold on. I got to go pull the steak out now.
Now, the question is, though, One Way, have you yet to buy the wine that I recommended to you?
Uh-oh.
No, I still have it written down.
Oh, you heathen. That's a one-way ticket to hell, my friend.
Uh-oh.
I heard that there's many ways to hell.
Yeah, they're all paved with kindness.
Yes.
Well, with good intentions, rather.
And with wrong wine, apparently.
And strong wine, yes.
Or wrong wine. I was sharing my pig stories, because somehow One Way is talking about pigs, cooking pig.
Ah. Thank you again for your answer, by the way, for the idea of infinity within a universe.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was worried I wasn't giving enough detail. So,
I mean, we could always use more. I find that since I think his name's Alex Malpass was trying to argue about the universe being infinite, and so that's why there's no God and that sort of thing. And I mean, they always come up with one. It's already one thing or another. They get completely wrecked on one thing, and then they go with another thing. They have no evidence to support for it. But even if it is logically possible of it, I like my answer to them has been, even if it is the case that like I can grant you that it's logically possible, but it's just not what the evidence shows.
well, and it's not like an infinite God can make an infinite universe if he wanted to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, their premises are always faulty to begin with. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that whole question has been going back and forth for centuries. Of course, Niels Bohr was probably the main proponent for the infinite universe last century or two, and Einstein used to agree with him. Einstein, that's where he got the static universe, and then the relativity physics proved otherwise. So he had to remove that cosmological constant. The universe is finite, and then so the best current modern interpretation is a guy named Eric Lerner. Have you heard his name yet?
Eric Lerner. No.
Lerner. Yeah. He, about the 70s or so, in the 80s, he wrote a book called Why the Big Bang Never Happened, right? And he goes into the history of it. And so he has the only other model that I would say is worth talking about anymore. He calls it his plasma or plasmatic cosmology, where the universe is just this constantly ebb and flow. It's an infinite, steady state where everything's just plasma states, just ebbing and flowing, changing, oscillating. And the one good thing is that he admits his math is wrong, right? But still, it's the only good idea left, that other than God created the finite universe model.
Well, even if that's the case, right? Let's because I see that Penrose has kind of been bouncing off this as well, saying that there might be kind of like what you were just saying with this plasmatic universe model.
The cyclical universe, right?
Yeah, a cyclical universe model. Who's to say that didn't have a start and then it would be just kind of ebbing and flowing, as you say?
Well, that's where Penrose and Hawking, they won their 1988 Wolf Prize together. So Penrose collected like 100 different scientists, and they spent like 10 years, right? So trying to solve the math for that problem. How likely? What was the minimum entropy rate? They asked of the chance that the universe, started essentially, and they figured out that quantum gravity is different than relativity type gravity, regular Newtonian gravity. And so that basically there's other experiments to show that even photons, even massless particles like a photon, has a quantum gravitational effect. So photons themselves can attract each other gravitationally. So the determination was that somehow, someone, somewhere, God or otherwise, had to temporarily reverse that quantum gravitational effect, even among photons, to allow the universe to be expanding the way it is, the Big Bang, quote unquote. And so that's what they're trying to calculate. What was the probability? What was the chances of that to happen? Just once,
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
and that was the big number, the 10 to the power of the 10 to the 123rd.
Right.
Yeah.
Just this sheer impossible number. Yeah. I love how Penrose put it.
I'm sorry, 1 followed by 10 to the power of 123 successive zeros. Yeah, that's insane. That's just insane.
For those that didn't hear it, he said that if you could write, it's 10 followed by, if you wrote 0 on every neutron and every electron and every other particle out there in the entire universe, you still run out. You would not have enough particles to write the zeros down. That's how big that number is. It's basically impossible. So good luck happening once, much less several cyclical times,
Yeah. That's insane.
It's a miracle. It's a literal scientific miracle. Sorry. That's no other way to describe it.
So isn't the rate of there's no such thing as an actual zero. We call that the kind of the Planck distance, right? It's 10 to the negative 50th power, something like that, or 10 to the 50th power, something like that, right?
There's a zero distance, but no. So the Planck constants and the Planck time lengths and the wavelengths, that's the smallest imaginable measurement that's useful. Anything smaller than a Planck length is just not useful,
Okay. And would it be accurate to say if we can compare that Planck length to probability, this number outweighs that probabilistic measurement by so unbelievable amounts that it's not even worthwhile to consider any other option?
You're talking about the singularity theorem probability, the 10 to the 10, 123?
Correct.
Yeah. I would say that no matter how you want to slice that apple, it's compare it to any Planck length or whatever other probability you're talking about, it's just astronomical. It's beyond astronomical.
Yeah. I also heard another thing that was interesting. One of my students came up to me and said that she had read somewhere that if you took all of the atoms in the known universe and you removed the space between them, all the space, and you crunched them in together, that they could actually just fit into a single salt shaker. Is that right?
Almost.
Almost?
Yeah, the more, whatever you call it, common analogy, if you took all of the atomic material for all of the human beings, all 7 to 8 billion people on the planet, and did that, or you moved all the space, we'd all fit in the size of a basketball.
That's insane.
Yeah. Planck described an atom as a solar system. There's so much space between the neutron and electrons and all the covalent bonds. There's a lot of space everywhere.
That's
another cool analogy.
It's just insane to think about.
Yeah, another cool analogy. So the idea that spiral galaxies that can collide, but there's so much space between the stars. Even though we look at a galaxy, we obviously it's dense. We see it looks solid, but no, there's so much space between the stars. Galaxies can collide and miss each other. I'm serious.
Have you ever seen the videos of people that they try to break a board and they punch but they miss the board completely? Oh, you've never seen that stuff? Oh god, they're so funny.
It's probably a joke, right?
Yeah, it's people that are doing martial arts. They try to do a board break and they try to punch it and they miss the board completely and then they hit the guy or something like that. That's the image I had of just a galactical board break miss.
Yeah, that's cute. But no, these figures, all this math it's just literally mind-boggling. It's just, and again, it took some of the best minds on the planet like a decade to come to that conclusion. And if you wanted to follow more on it, if you're trying to dig into it, so he published that in his book. I think I cited it for you, The Emperor's New Mind.
Yes.
Yeah. So he shows the math. There's a whole section. It's supposed to be. It was originally him sharing his latest thoughts on artificial intelligence of all things. This is back in like 1985, right? Which was amazing. But he spent some time talking about the singularity theorem and shows the math for it. It's pretty. I mean, you have to be pretty savvy with probabilistic curves and stuff like that. But it's there to talk about, look and learn about.
The Saturday Evening Post that you sent me. This is from 1929. You can definitely tell that it's very dated because it would say like Napoleon or like Mussolini. I don't think anybody.
Those ads, the in floor heated whatever in the car and the underwear ads.
Yeah. But also, I don't think anybody would want to be compared to Mussolini today either.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And that metal craft, the metal craft heaters could not possibly be safe. I mean, that is just that's asking for a fire in your car.
Yep. I wonder if I could bring that up or not.
If you look at the Discord messages really quickly, it's in there.
I want to bring it up here on YouTube while we're talking about.
Oh, okay. I think I can do that. I have it up right now.
So I haven't found the one way, but it's getting closer every time.
One way for what now? One way
to cook the most perfect steak.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can help be the judge of that and cook some for us. Check this out. One way 1929 ads. This is the original format. Saturday Evening Post today keeps their interview with Albert Einstein, where he talks about how God created the finite universe. Check out some of these advertisements, man. You want to get an in-floor heated... See how they used to heat their car? Yeah, there's nothing to go wrong here, right?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, these ancient... I didn't know I mentioned something about Mussolini. That's epic.
Yeah, if you go to the first page... and then go to the bottom of the first page, and then it will be right where he starts saying a born teacher.
MUSSO. Okay. You say the bottom of the first page?
Yep. They're right there. A born teacher.
The PDF is kind of searchable, but not perfectly.
Yeah, just scroll down a little bit more. You'll see it. It's bold letters, a born teacher, and then it says like Napoleon, like Mussolini.
Wow. Whoa. There you go. So they're comparing Einstein to Napoleon and Mussolini. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. Times have changed.
Yeah, this article that you pulled up is from 1929.
Yeah,
it's so cool that we still have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's always good to verify your primary sources. This is about as primary of a source as I can find. Einstein's universe is finite. People still argue that today. I was finding things on science forums. Oh, Einstein thought it was infinite. No.
Like it's like, yeah, if you take his research from 1910.
Yeah. I get it. Go. For modesty, I remarked, does you credit? No, Einstein replied. I claim credit for nothing. Everything is determined, the beginning as well as the end, by forces over which we have no control. It is determined for the insect as well as for the star.
Wow, man, he sounds like a Calvinist.
It does. Human beings, vegetables, or cosmic dust. We all dance to a mysterious tune intoned in the distance by an invisible player. Love it. He's not a deist.
I can believe the guy determined the flavor of the steak. Absolutely.
That's why I love one way. He's awesome. There's something else that he said that was
really it's how like a lot of things taste like chicken.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think that was one of those things where Scott's like, "Do you think they'll notice?" And then he just.
Oh yeah. So this is where he also talked about Jesus.
Frog legs
being,
tastes like chicken. Do you think they'll notice?
You're gonna love this too, Runway. I mean, One Way. Sorry, Renzo. To what extent are you influenced by Christianity? As a child, I received instruction both in the Bible and the Talmud. Talmud. I am a Jew, but I'm enthralled by the luminous figure of the Nazarene. Have you read Emily Ludwig's book on Jesus? Emily Ludwig's Jesus, Einstein replied, is shallow. Jesus is too colossal for the pen of phrasemongers, however artful. No man can dispose of Christianity with a bon mot. You accept the historical existence of Jesus? Unquestionably. Eat that, Richard Dawkins. No one can read the Gospels without feeling the actual presence of Jesus. I don't know anybody else in the world who would say you can feel the actual presence of Jesus other than a Christian.
Yeah. Oh, man. His personality pulsates in every word.
Mm-hmm. No myth.
Look at that. Yeah, no myth is filled with such life.
He even compares him with other heroes of antiquity like Theseus. And the other heroes of this type lack the authentic vitality of Jesus. I don't know who Ludwig Lewison was, but Jesus was just paraphrasing the sayings of other prophets. No man, Einstein replied, can deny the fact that Jesus existed, nor that his sayings are beautiful. Even if some of them had been said before, no one has expressed them so divinely as he. So yeah, I've had atheists. I've debated this for so long. I've heard people try to say he was just being flowery with his descriptions to try to be kind towards Christians, but I don't know. I think that I wouldn't think anybody other than a Christian would be that bold, you know.
Yeah, well, seriously, I mean that's, and
Actual
he's
presence.
not in the way that it's like, at least the way it's written, you know. I mean, it's hard to tell without hearing his voice, but the
Mhm.
way it's written is like interjections of no, like what you're saying is absolutely absurd, you know, and not like a oh no, I don't think so. Yeah, this is very, very direct.
Mm-hmm. Gilbert Chesterton told me that, according to a Catholic writer in a Dublin review, your theory of relativity merely confirms the cosmology of Thomas Aquinas. You probably love this part, One Way. I think I've heard you talk about that before, haven't you?
There's another guy that
Yeah,
does it
but
even better.
Thomas Aquinas's model was Aristotelian. And do we
Okay.
believe in 56 concentric spheres with thought thinking itself as the outermost layer? No.
I have no idea. Yeah, that's the part that One Way is where you know more than me about the philosophy side.
No, it's just a historical fact.
Mhm.
In order for Aquinas to have to use, okay, listen, like modern day cosmological arguments
Mhm.
have to change their conception of cosmology to adopt St. Thomas Aquinas's one of his 5 ways in the Kalam that he gave, the unmoved mover. Because on his
Okay.
view, the unmoved mover was thought thinking itself as the outermost ring of 56 concentric spheres. That was their cosmology of the day.
Spheres of what, though?
Right.
That so blows my brain. What is it talking about?
Concentric. I don't even know what they mean. I agree with it. like it's ambiguous, but that was
All
their
right.
cosmological model. But like God apparently was the outermost layer, and he's the one who made all the other spheres within that sphere in a concentric model move. So it was literally like the love makes the world go round on his model, but it was love from a God who was thought thinking himself.
Okay.
So like modern Kalam cosmological arguments try to use the same argument, but they have to rephrase it into our scientific models. It's kind of funny.
What were you trying to say as well, Renzo? Sorry.
Well, I also really don't like the Thomistic way of thinking. It leads to the God of the gaps sort of theory, where the Aristotelian said is the it actually kind of makes fun of science more. It says science of the gaps.
Okay.
But there was another guy who wrote like the 5 proofs before Aquinas did, and I'm forgetting his name.
See, that's the side of this
That would
I'm
be
not
interesting to
familiar
read. Yeah.
with. I think this is also where Veneric, I think you pronounce his name, the guy that made this interview, talks about how Einstein played his violin as worshiping God somewhere in here.
He got that from the Psalms.
Yeah.
You're right, though. Like in the earlier things that you were reading, because I'm
Hmm.
watching while meeting this wonderful steak.
Yeah, you're rubbing in. Yeah.
That God determined to taste like this.
Is it marinated in our tears, though? Yeah.
You're right, Renzo. It like his responses don't seem like, well, you know, no, but maybe or anything like it. Like they sound like strong responses in the writing, right?
Yeah,
Like it's almost like he's like, hell no.
exactly. And you know, I've listened to a lot of old time like radio interviews and lectures and stuff, and I understand that people like they speak a lot differently, but when they are like somebody from the 20s or 30s is writing or speaking and they're trying to make a statement against, but they're not really sure about it, they won't say no, maybe, but they'll actually say something more like that's a really interesting proposition and I don't know what to make of it, rather than something like how we would today would be like, hell no, girl, that's not what happened.
Trying to maneuver around with this PDF.
Yeah, there
file.
would be a lot more smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be clear on what like, this is clear on his opinion about this.
Units of all year easy ones now in use. What is that? It's an easy one. Easy on.
I think it's about
tire.
Tires. Yeah.
Don't even know. Oh, yeah. It's fascinating to me, even though even advertisements, man, been around this long.
Oh, look, they didn't teach them how to take care of their own bills in the 20s, so we can't say that they didn't teach us how to pay taxes back in the day either.
There you go.
Right.
Yep. Do y'all want to see my example of where? Whoa, what did I just click on? Spinoza made very Christian sounding statements as well.
Yeah, I would love to see that actually. Is that towards the latter years of his writings or earlier years? I
am not sure. I can give you the date he wrote this book, the Politicus Tractus, whatever it's called. I pronounce it. Let me get it real quick. Where be it? We got a link to the book online for free. Just gotta find my link to it. Where's that? It's buried. Here it is. 1677. So is that early or late? I don't know. When did he die? Died in six. So this is a year before he died, huh? Or 6 years before he died. What year again? 1677. So this is the year he did die. Wow. So it must be late.
Wait, you said this was published in 1677?
Yes.
That's the last year of his life.
Yes. So obviously late.
I'd say so.
All right, right here. You may be quite able, or maybe able quite to comprehend that God can communicate immediately with man. So right there, that destroys the myth, the old myth that all kinds of secondary source opinions on the internet try to say Spinoza was a pantheist. No, Spinoza made God and man separate. He was not pantheist. For without the intervention of bodily means, he communicates to our minds his essence. Again, the separation between God and man. Still, a man who can by pure intuition comprehend ideas. Is this being shared? Yeah. Which are neither contained in nor deducible from the foundations of our natural knowledge, must necessarily possess a mind far superior to those of his fellow men, nor do I believe that any have been so endowed save Christ. To him, the ordinances of God leading men to salvation were revealed directly without words or visions, so that God manifested himself to the apostles through the mind of Christ, as he formerly did to Moses through the supernatural voice. So Spinoza says Jesus is the same God that spoke to Moses, that spoke to the apostles. In this sense, the voice of Christ, like the voice which Moses heard, may be called the voice of God. So the voice of Christ is the voice of God. And it may be said that the wisdom of God, i.e., wisdom more than human, took upon itself in Christ human nature. Christ is the wisdom of God, and that Christ was the way of salvation. I don't know anybody else who would say that other than a Christian.
Yeah, it looks like you got John 1:1, John 1:16. You've got the hypostatic union from Paul. You've got like even the doctrines of grace in there for salvation through faith, and how he communicates directly to man. I mean, this is, yeah, it sounds like he's a Christian. Sounds like he's a brother in Christ.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had, atheists try to debate that the next sentence he's saying he doesn't, confirm nor deny. I don't think he's saying that. I think he's saying he doesn't get these. He's just saying he doesn't get it from the church. He gets it from Scripture. Is all he's making a point on.
Oh wow, that's a really good point. Anti sola scriptura. Why do all these people sound like Calvinists?
1600s, 1800s, I guess. I don't know. But still, it's cool. I thought you liked it.
Yeah.
What are the deep truths do you want to debunk?
Can you send me that link, or can you send me that PDF?
The Spinoza one?
Yes, please.
Sure. I'll send it in the link.
Yeah, why do these old people sound like Calvinists?
Yeah. It's like Calvinism must be popular or something. All right, boom. Post, there it goes.
I read a book about the life and times of Spinoza and his battle with the Orangist. And there was when he was exiled, he used to capture spiders and put them up against each other and watch them fight to the death.
It's a very odd thing for you philosophers to want to do.
Well, I mean, when you are exiled and you're alone forever, and you know that you're not going to have any communication with anybody, you probably go a little crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I read that in a book on the canon, the formation of the canon.
About Spinoza?
It makes mention of that regarding Spinoza. Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
He says in the same way that Spinoza spends his gives his personal stories about things that he did and spreads them aloof, something like this. And paraphrase, I could find it, but it would take me a while. He said in the same way the early Christians spread around stories with varying degrees and different books and different sources that would later be forged into the canon.
I'm really glad that you brought up that Spinoza quote, because I was just watching an old debate from 1993 with Greg Bonson and Gordon Tovash, I think his name is Gordon Tovash.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually saying that, like, the pantheistic God of Spinoza. Man, I wish I would have had that just to, just for my own knowledge before even watching that.
Well, and by the way, I kind of combed through this link that I shared. I may have corrected the time. I found a citation where it says that it was first published anonymously I'm tired. In 1670. And in 1674, it was formally prohibited by States General, whatever, Romish Church, whatever that is. And so I don't know. So the published date might be, it's still in the 1670s, obviously.
Okay. Yeah, so it's towards the end of his life. That's all that matters, is it's, some of the last ways he was thinking.
Yep. And then on that last comment you just made, Einstein does say somewhere that he believes in the pantheistic views of Spinoza. However, and or but he further clarified it that he himself is not a pantheist. So I think there's been a lot of misconceptions of Spinoza being a pantheist for centuries, including that Einstein even may have made that mistake. But despite making that seeming mistake, Einstein himself still says he cannot think of himself as a pantheist. Can you read this meme I'm sharing well enough?
Oh, here we go. Let me see. Okay. I was looking at the document. I'm not an atheist. I don't think I can call myself a pantheist. The problem involved is too vast for our limited minds. We are in the position of a little child entering a huge library filled with books in many languages. The child knows someone must have written those books, and does not know how, does not understand the languages in which they are written. The child dimly suspects a mysterious order in the arrangement of the books, but does not know what it is. That, it seems to me, is the attitude of even the most intelligent human beings towards God. We see the universe marvelously arranged and obeying certain laws, but not only dimly understanding these laws.
It was a powerful refutation on Mr. Einstein being a pantheist or whatever. Lots of interesting things out there to challenge the. Is that your girlfriend?
Wife.
Oh, nice. The one that I watched the video on how y'all met. It was very interesting.
Oh, yes. Well, that was just a skit, and it was just a skit, but that's not how we actually met. But that YouTuber has an inside joke with his community on how to say like really strange things in Japanese. And so then the skit is like, I actually used your Japanese that you've taught, and it worked. And so when that video came out, there was just like there's hundreds of comments, people going, "What? There's no way!" And then we played along with it. It's like, no, this actually happened.
It's very cute. You're blaming him for your potential mistranslation that actually worked, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I got it. And don't worry, my wife and I have the same kind of humor, so.
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. What else is on y'all's mind tonight?
This is a huge. This Spinoza thing is huge. It's 428 pages.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of. I'm gonna read through some more of this stuff too.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of the atheists, they like to quote more from his ethics book. So
okay.
It's
God mean.
Politics.
Hey, God mean.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't exist. God mean.
What is on my mind? Well, I've got to teach in 5 minutes. That's on my mind, and then I have an hour of teaching, and I have my biblical Hebrew lesson, and then my wife gets her wisdom teeth taken out tomorrow, and that's going to be exciting.
Woohoo!
That's a lot on your mind, man. I'm just thinking about how delicious the steak is, and I'm sad that it's almost gone.
Well, I'm going to make it so that you're not as happy, because if you would have bought in the wine that I recommended for you, it would be even that much better.
There you go.
Oh no! All right.
You're not maximizing the potential of your steak.
That's true. That's a truth claim right there. Okay, and that's a truth with a capital T. Because let me tell you, the tannins in a Cabernet Sauvignon that is not processed by some half-rate Californian company, but a true like Cabernet from northern Italy just will blow your mind and make a steak 10 times more its value.
Nice.
And here I was in Arizona just pouring a Budweiser on there and noticing that it beat all the marinade on the shelves.
One of my favorite things to make is actually making red wine reductions for steak. And if you haven't done that before, one way, that's something I highly would recommend to do.
So are you a fancy wine connoisseur? Is it?
Yeah, I was actually training to be a sommelier for both whiskey and wine.
Wow.
And then I was just like, I'm getting really fat because I'm drinking a lot. So I had to stop. But I still I just love wine so much.
All things in moderation. Well, if you ever make your way to Texas, here in central, the heart of Texas, my son Matt, he's managing a 5-star brick oven fired Italian pizza restaurant now, and they have this epic wine cellar. It's like, and they offer it. You can have, it's like $500 something for clients, and then they can peruse all of the wines for like the whole day. It's all cool. Italian, it's all imported.
Yeah, I don't like getting drunk on wine, because if you get drunk on wine, it's like the next day is the worst hangover you can imagine. So and plus after you drink too much, you can't even enjoy the flavor anymore. So it becomes meaningless for me. So I really like to enjoy my wine in moderation, and really, really doesn't have to be expensive, but just high level wine.
Well, I don't think they encourage people to get drunk at this place necessarily. They have this huge variety of expensive wines, and it's like entire businesses, like a executive office group would come in. Like 20 people would come in, and you basically rent their wine cellar for the day. It's theirs.
Yeah, and those wine cellars, they're absolutely gorgeous to have dinner in. I used to live in Texas, as you know.
Oh wow.
And I was in Houston, and there's a place called of course I would just say that I was going to tell you the name of it, and then it would just leave in my mouth, but like that. But anyways, Mosroff's, that's the name of it. Mosroff's.
Does not ring. I'm a native Houstonian as well, by the way, if we didn't know that.
So he's actually one of the larger donors to the Second Baptist Church, like the really big one. So he but he has a bunch of restaurants, and one of his famous ones is Mosroff's, which is his name, I believe. And they have a wine room that you can have dinner in, and I'd highly recommend it. If you're still in Houston, or if you're anywhere nearby or going to visit, I would go to Mosroff's.
Nice. Yeah, well, I was born and raised in the Deer Park, Pasadena, Webster area, but yeah, so we're near Waco actually, and so he's got that restaurant here. But
oh yeah, okay, Waco's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's away from people, and I like being away from people right now.
It used to be. It's getting big now.
We're
living out.
Throw that away too.
Well, people from all over the planet, flooding Texas.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I guess I left at the right time.
Well,
all right. Well, I'm gonna go teach this lesson. Great talking to you, Joel.
Thanks for stopping by, man. Really appreciate
it. Absolutely. All right. See you later, One Way.
Finishing a steak over there.
Well, he's not listening anymore, but goodbye. But I also
Arizona.
Doctor's appointment in 8 hours.
Yeah. What you going to doctor for? If that's not too personal.
For my wife. My wife's the one going to the doctor. I'm just
You're the chauffeur?
No, it's for endocrinology.
I used to know what that was.
That's where we're going. Pulmonary systems specialist, I guess.
That's breathing, right? Pulmonary. It's your lungs.
Well, it's like pretty much all of the systems in your body. Breathe, like any of the systems, I guess, is what endocrinology deals with.
Yeah. Yeah, look that up again. I'm thinking lymph nodes and stuff like that. Hormone therapy stuff. Yeah.
Well, for her, it's diabetic related.
Oh.
What they were, she was originally recommended to go there to get an idea of whether she could have like some of those pods implanted, right? That feed insulin or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we've actually managed to manage that since then.
Nice.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I hear eating lots of steak is good for diabetics.
Yeah, I'm always trying to feed her steak too.
More protein, less sugar.
No carbs, lots of protein. Yeah.
Beans.
Yep. Rice, grains, quinoa.
I heard rice
is another
is
one.
bad.
I've been trying to get her to eat quinoa lately.
Mm-hmm. I've heard rice is very high on the glycemic index.
It might be.
Yeah.
I think it's just white rice. I mean, I would have to look at that more, but that's what her primary care doctor was recommending to her.
Huh.
Guess like brown rice.
Yeah, I grew up and I love Uncle Ben's brown rice, man. Oh my gosh. I eat that all day. The wild grain. Uncle Ben's wild grain.
That stuff's amazing. Like you could just cook up some chicken, right? And then use a couple of those packets and then teriyaki sauce, and it feels like Panda Express.
Maybe a little less fancy, I guess, but yeah, I get you.
It's that close though, is what I'm saying. You could just do it right out of the package in the microwave.
Yeah, we bought all kinds of good ingredients for different things that we wanted to make, and then we don't want to make it. Quite the challenge. So, what other myths, popular misconceptions could we debunk tonight together, wouldn't we? Do you imagine?
Not really sure. Here's one that something being classified as a myth doesn't mean that it's not true. Here's a good one.
A true myth?
Yeah, you can have such a thing as a true myth.
Cool. What's a good example?
A good example would be something like, I believed, right, that God saved me, and he worked in my life in such a way that I would accept the gospel when it was presented to me. That he sort of prepared the way, right? Now, that might not seem like a myth to you, right? But a myth, what is referred to as a mythos in academic circles, just means a story that involves a higher being. So you can have a myth that is true. Did I really get converted? Yes. Was God really involved? I would say yes. So you can have a myth that's true. My own life story is a myth that is true in that sense.
Seems like semantics.
No, it's not semantics. When these atheists say myth, what they mean is fiction, right? But what do scholars mean when they say that the Gospels are mythos? They don't mean the same thing that the atheist does when they cite the scholars saying that they are myth, right? They're the ones equivocating.
Okay.
See
Well,
the difference?
yeah, but how do you? Can you convince people of that, or convince atheists of that? More
Yeah,
importantly,
it's not that hard. Just cite philosophy of religion textbooks, and they'll tell you that. But these people never do that, right? They just say it's a myth, and then they'll cite a scholar from the realm of philosophy of religion, and then not realize that the background in his field, myth, means something different than they mean. it's just sloppy. Anybody can look up, for example, Dr. Michael Heiser, myth is a narrative, and you'll get the same explanation. I mean, a person who speaks 9 Semitic languages, ancient Semitic languages, right, has a PhD in all of this. When he tells you that, that's what they're doing. You probably should take some credence to that, right? That's his field, semantics. So yeah, she can have a myth that's true. It's pretty easy.
okay, I get you. I'm still getting attacked and antagonized in Praise's Discord channel. I don't know if you saw any of that recently.
No.
It's horrible.
No, I haven't. Is it the same dude?
Several dudes. Yeah.
I'm just taking in that steak. That was delicious. So
Besides with
never buy premium steaks. Always get choice or prime. That's my conclusion from that.
What's the difference?
The marbling. The marbling of the fat between the lean meat is like evenly. The more it's evenly distributed, the better the steak is, basically. So prime is like a lot of marbling. Choice would be a decent amount of marbling, and then premium would be hardly any marbling.
Interesting. And the marbling is the fat content, of course, right?
Yeah. It's basically the white, the white areas in between the red muscle fibers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Go with don't go with premium. Go with choice or prime, and you won't be disappointed.
Yep. I haven't cooked a good steak in so long one way. And Kelly and I, we were talking about getting a barbecue pit. We were trying to decide between the $750, dual grilled, we call it propane, versus like this $2,000, like 3, what do you call it, plate combination propane and charcoal. So we're not sure. We're not sure how dedicated of a grill family we're going to be, I guess.
Really depends on, I guess, what you're looking for, right? I've been watching a lot of these other videos. People cook animals under salt mounds, pieces of meat over open fire, like on like above and below. There's lots of different ways to cook things, you know. It's pretty awesome. God gave us such variety, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Enjoyment to all kinds of things. All kinds of, I mean, yeah, the carnal pleasures or whatever, they're just pleasures of the flesh, but still, you know, there's good, wholesome, you know, healthy ways to enjoy life. That's probably one of the biggest, you know, because Kelly and I, we have very, very few differences. We're so alike and so many agree on so many things. But I'm more of the foodie, you know. I like to enjoy, you know, comfort food and stuff like that. She just likes to eat. It's not as big of a deal for her, so to say. But so I want to go to a nice restaurant, you know.
It sounds like it's reversed where I am then, right?
Yeah.
My wife's the one who wants to do all that, and I'm the one who's just like, come on, let's just cook it at home. Well, listen, I don't want to stay up too late. I really do need to get some sleep.
All right. Same. I got today and tomorrow, I guess. I finish a stinking sprint for work, and then we're gonna probably, it's like half the office is gonna be out.
But I saw that you were live, and I was just like, I'm gonna pop in, you know, see what's up.
Well, if you want to help beat back some of these Christian atheists and praise his channel, I'll probably
look at there's
really weird.
Okay, you know that warfare is mental guy, right? Is Eastern Orthodox, right?
Which guy?
The warfare is mental. That person.
Warfare is mental. No, who's this?
He was the Eastern Orthodox person that I was going back and forth with. Like, there's no reasoning with that kind of a person anymore.
Well, so he was more reasonable, I would say, in the sense that he at least made arguments, even though they were dumb arguments. These other guys are, if you read the last couple of days, they're just hateful. They're just, you know, telling how stupid I am, and it's just.
I'll pop in there and give that a read before I lay down. Then
it's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
Apparently,
yeah. As soon as, like, when the warfare of his mental guy said, I'm not here trying to convince you, and then the whole time he was trying to convince us. I'm just like, come on.
That's typical atheist tactic.
All right,
here's my belief.
Yeah. It's like church fathers. I mean, right? Why are you citing church fathers? These people aren't the same context as the Bible, right?
Yep.
I noticed that got under his skin.
Well, I tried to be
like,
nice.
I did cite. He said I did show that none of the church fathers blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, the only person who did anything with the church fathers was me, right? I cited like 50 church fathers from my view, and you cited 2.
Yep.
And then I explained why they're all wrong.
Yeah, and that was my point. I don't know if I conveyed it properly. Is that even the church fathers, even Jesus, you know, would say the church fathers got things wrong. We're no different or better or worse than them. So
it's frustrating dealing with people that are in a cult like that. They're going to stick to their guns no matter what. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's a certain point where it's just like, you know, you have to ask, why am I even continuing with this person, right? I cited 50 church fathers. He said he read all of them. right? Then he said that he showed that they're all wrong without ever addressing any of them. No, he just asserted it. He didn't show anything.
Yep.
And I could show 50 church fathers that contradict those 50 church fathers that I cited, right?
Yep.
For the opposite view, the non-Calvinist view, it's just like, come on, dude, just deal with it. They're a mixed bag. It's like a modern day Christian bookstore. When you go into the modern day Christian bookstore, right? It's a mixed bag in there.
Well,
just let them be what they are, a mixed bag. Like mixed nuts, like trail mix. Just let them be the trail mix that they are, you know.
So that was kind of cool you mentioned that. I was talking with what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Richard earlier tonight on his channel. And he had one of his Hindu friends with him. And we were talking about how there's not just parallels, but there's so much, symmetry. There's so many truth, quote unquote, parallels with all kinds of different religions out there between Christianity and Hinduism, Buddhism, and all stuff like that. And you discern the truth between it, but still he was talking about how God reveals truth to people that of course they interpret in different ways, but it's all boiled back down to the truth. And we're talking about how,
Right.
people like I was sharing how people I've met over the years that were in these Hindu countries. They've never heard the name Christ, but they still met Christ. They still find Jesus, even though they either never heard of him or it's hostile. They get in trouble. They get murdered sometimes. Yeah.
So maybe because I'm interpreting that in my philosophy lens, right? An example would be Saul Kripke's direct reference theory, where we didn't always know that water was called H2O, but we were always aware of water.
There you go.
Right.
And then it was wet.
So in a way, right, everybody was familiar with water, and that didn't somehow make H2O. That false, right? And since we found out that later, right, it's comprised of H2O, that also doesn't mean that water, when people called it water, was false. And so there's a sense in which they could be in a relationship with water without having all the details, right? See, philosophy is useful for some things, but not a lot.
Yep. Well, yeah. So yeah, if you can help offer anything to help diffuse these crazy people, man, they're getting really bad.
All right,
I'll
look at it, man.
bullying now. Yeah,
I will.
All right,
I'm
man,
tired now. The stakes like settling, and it was good chatting with you.
You as well, sir. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Miss talking with you.
Have a good night. Yeah.
Yep.
God bless you and Kelly and yours.
You as well. I hope your wife has a good day tomorrow. The doctors, of course. Figure some stuff out.
Thank you.
You have a good night.
Shalom.